Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. You know that from Guido Greco here again with another exciting episode of Deep Listens. And today it is time once again for our Game of the Year awards, the Marianas Trench Awards for Deepness. The Trenchies. Year seven. All right, the 7th annual Trenchies. And joining me as always to award these lovely, lovely, beautiful games, Pete Busby. Hello, Pete.
Hey, how's it going? We got a lot ahead of ourselves, so no fun fact this week. We're just going to get right to it.
I was wrong. It's the 8th annual Trenchies. Oh, my God.
That's our fun fact, then.
I am also joined by M. Palladino, the Mistress of Games. Hello, M.
Hello, happy to be here again for another Deep Listens award show. Congrats to all the winners and all the losers. Fuck you.
That is what our awards are about. We're weird in that any loser of the award, we hate. Sorry.
How dare you waste our time.
Don't come in second. Life's tough. We are also joined by the crew, the Off the Deep End crew. Jeff Rude. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, good people. Welcome to another episode of Off the Deep End. My name is Jeff Rude, the host. God damn it.
We are also joined by Chris ZombiePie Redacted.
I forgot to brush my teeth, so give me a minute. I'm going to say Tino as well.
Are you first serious?
We are also joined by the other redacted brother, Braden ArbitraryWater Redacted.
Hello, I've been informed that Daggerfall Unity has reached 1.0 status, so drop whatever the fuck you're doing. I mean, heck, you're doing this 2024 and engage in the exciting world of the Iliac Bay.
I don't know what that means, but today it is time to go over our Game of the Year nominees, categories, etc., etc. Before I list off all of our categories, I'll do our normal plug. Reminder, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. You can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens, which would let you participate in our Discord. We are also 3 patrons away from playing Sonic 06 and Ultima 9, or as we are now calling it, Ultima Sonic 69.
That's what we're calling it?
Who's
Yep.
calling it that?
Yeah, I didn't get a
us.
vote in that name.
That's
Us.
what the streets are saying.
This is my Usenet name
Smoke on the street.
when I'm posting about Sonic the Hedgehog in Ultima 9.
Yep.
Sonic 09's big on the streets.
Sonic 06 is.
You know it.
Yeah.
You already know
Sonic
it.
06.
So yeah, support the show if you can. That'll get you access to our Discord. It'll also let you vote in one of the categories that we're going to be talking about in not too long. So, without further ado, our categories for the Trenchies this year, 2023, are as follows. Game of our year, that's the big one, that's going last. And then the order we are going in. Game of the year, 2023. What? You just said Game of our year. Well, Game of the year 2023 is for the games that actually came out in 2023. Game of our year is all the games we played, and since we don't stay current, that means there's way more in Game of our year than in Game of the year. Then Best Comedy, Best Horror, Best Drama, Best Action, Best Adventure, Best Puzzler, Best Character, Worst Character, Best Soundtrack, Prettiest Game, Best Performance/Voice Acting, Best Mechanic, Biggest Disrespect of the Player's Time, Best Twist, Worst Game of our year 2023, Worst Story and or Written Dialogue, the John Paul Sartre Memorial Award for Game that Best Expresses the Ultimate Futility of the Human Condition, Gino's Platypus Award for Game That Should Not Be, ZP's Help I'm Trapped in Sysiphean Torment Award, the Biggest Indictment of Capitalism Award, M. Sheeple Award, Most Wildly Overstated/Overrated, Jeff's Old Game Commendation, Braden ArbitraryWater Redacted presents the Dubious Championship League, Best Non-Game, Quote of the Year, and those are all of our awards, and then we'll wrap it up with Game of our Year. So without further ado, let's get into it. Game of the Year 2023. Nominees are as follows. Dungeons & Dragons, Forgotten Realms, Pool of Radiance 2, Ruins of Myth, Draenor, version 1.4. Final Fantasy III, Pixel Remaster. Dave the Diver, Sea of Stars, and boss game, The Final Boss Is My Heart.
Okay, I would like to on technical grounds remove Ruins of Myth Draenor, which is a game from the year 2000, I believe. Don't know why it's here. I would also like to remove Final Fantasy III. That is a game from 1990.
Yeah, why is that here?
The Pixel Remaster came out this year.
It did not. It actually came out about 2 years ago.
Dang it. I thought it came out this year.
No.
Someone did not do their homework.
Well, it wasn't going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, but yeah. Look, this was a 3-horse race already, but just to...
Almost as if we don't play games that come out the year we have these podcasts.
No, but...
Yeah. Game developers, send us codes for free.
So this is Dave the Diver, right?
Yes.
I would argue for Sea of Stars.
Okay, how are we split? So I go Sea of Stars personally.
I would also go with Sea of Stars. I find Dave the Diver, especially its endgame, a little too frustrating and annoying.
Okay, so we've got 2
I
for
wrote
Sea
Dave
of Stars.
the Diver.
Okay, we've got 1 for Dave. Jeff, are you also a Dave the Diver person?
I'm a little torn between the two. I'd lean Dave the Diver just because it's doing something a little different than Sea of Stars kind of is drafting off of Chained Echoes and some other kind of well-worn territory. Dave the Diver, I just appreciate how much it does. I'm not going to say it's all incredible, but just the constant iteration part of it I think is really neat.
Agreed. It is very cool. Braden,
but I'm not
where
going
do you...
I will abstain. I have not played any of these games.
Okay.
None of you chuckleheads covered, I don't know, Darkest Dungeon 2.
Alan Wake 2. Lies of P.
Mario?
One day we'll cover such games as Lies of P. No, we won't. We won't cover Lies of P.
Yeah, no, I
was thinking about
I would stab myself.
Then I guess you're the tiebreaker here between Dave the Diver and Sea of Stars.
Is it tied?
It is tied 2-2. Me and ZP on Sea of Stars. So for those who didn't listen to those podcasts, Sea of Stars, it's kind of a throwback to Super Nintendo RPGs of yore, but perhaps is a little better than some of them in some ways and a little worse in other ways. Dave the Diver it's somehow every early access game all at once.
It's doing a lot of stuff.
It's incredible. It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. As far as games of the year, I think Dave the Diver is a very 2023 game. So I think Sea of Stars will have its time, but I'm going to go for Dave the Diver here.
All right, so the winner is Game of the Year 2023 is Dave the Diver. Congratulations. That game, it's so many genres all at once. It's so funny. I'm not going to even argue that much about it. Both of these games are very good, but Dave the Diver, check it out if you haven't. It's a cool, fun game.
Sea of Stars not going to have its time in 2023 despite selling 4 million units by December of last year.
It might win Game of Our Year.
That would be very weird.
Oh.
That would be very weird if it won Game of Our Year, but not Game of the Year. We might need to revisit Game of the Year if that's what happens, but we'll see. Best Comedy. Nominees are Will You Snail, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Portal 2, Dave the Diver, Chex Quest Remake, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, The Case of the Golden Idol, Boss Game, The Final Boss Is My Heart, Katamari Damacy Reroll, and what's this final entry? What is this one?
Oh.
The fact that I need to temporarily ban ZP for posting actual pornography in the Discord more than once.
That's a very funny thing. That's not a game, though. It's
comedy.
very serious.
It's a game for the mod team.
Maybe that'll be our best non-game.
Yeah, move that to best non-game.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good idea, actually.
So I'm going to go ahead and venture a guess that I can eliminate some of these games.
Why don't we do what we did a few years back where everybody says what their actual pick is rather than systematically pruning the field?
Okay.
Okay. So, Gino, what is your pick?
I'm split between Portal 2 and Katamari Damacy Reroll. My heart, one's very well written and has a lot of very funny bespoke jokes. One is a joke unto itself and makes me laugh every time I play it. I think I'm going to lean with Katamari on this one. Katamari Damacy Reroll. The joke is the playing, and I like that. I respect that.
The joke
It's a good
is
choice,
you,
Gino.
the
That'll
player.
also be my vote. So you can count 2 for Katamari.
I'm never gonna vote against Katamari ever in anything. So yeah, Katamari. Portal 2 is very funny. Like I actually replayed most of that game this year too, and it holds up very well.
It does.
I ain't voting against Katamari. Dave the Diver also quietly kind of has some chuckle moments in it too.
Oh, for sure.
But,
I think those are the three. Unless, ZP, are you going to argue for getting over it?
No, I actually was going to vote for Portal 2. I think that the dialogue of Wheatley alone makes it one of the best written comedies and still kind of a gold standard for comedic writing in video games.
Yeah, it's got good timing.
It does.
Yes.
It's very good.
It makes you care about inanimate objects, and when said inanimate objects meet a demise, it makes you laugh about it.
M, where do you come down?
I have no strong feelings in this particular race. I will also go with Katamari.
All right, so Katamari, Braden.
Katamari,
All right, almost unanimous.
the king of Cosmos. He's very funny.
It's a very funny game.
So we have a clear winner and a clear runner-up. Best comedy, the winner goes to Katamari Damacy Reroll. That game's so good. It's so funny. Playing it just makes me cackle with joy, and not very many games do that, especially through gameplay. Portal 2, very well written, very funny also, but look, I mean, it's a game where you roll up human beings and they scream, and you don't let them go because they need to be a star, a great big star.
You
Portal
melt
2
them
can't
down.
Yeah, you melt them down. And sometimes you just turn them into stardust cruelly. So winner, congratulations, Katamari Damacy Reroll. Good work, Portal 2. Sorry to everything else. Next up, Best Horror. The nominees are Signalis, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Cruelty Squad, Citizen Sleeper, Strange Horticulture, and Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure. Look at those things. They suck to look at.
This is a strong contender, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure.
It is horrifying.
It
I'm
feels
going.
haunted.
Yes.
This feels like
It's a
Signalis'
cursed
category to lose.
You think Signalis is going to lose this one?
No.
Okay.
It's the only genuine horror game on the entire list, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other things are more existential.
Off-putting.
Weird
There's an
object
edge case
simulators.
for
Plants.
Cruelty Squad.
I would also argue that Cruelty Squad is an actual horror game when you get down
There's
to brass
some
tacks.
bits in Cruelty Squad that none of you played that are creepy.
It was just so terrible to play.
How do we miss them?
Are they in the
Because
sewers?
none of you finished the game or found
Oh.
any of the hidden levels.
Well,
So
Yeah.
Game
there's
too
a
hard
long
then.
list of proceedings of that game. But yeah, this I just said not 5 minutes ago I can't vote against Katamari, so maybe I'll vote for Katamari and be a jerk. But realistically, Signalis is probably like the right vote here.
I agree. I think, are we all
Yeah.
unanimous on Signalis winning this?
Signalis
I think
is
so.
good.
hell yeah.
And then I'm fine with Katamari Damacy coming in second, because that's
I would
very
actually
funny.
push for Cruelty Squad to be second.
Yeah,
Okay.
over
yeah, same.
Katamari.
Yeah.
Okay. Cruelty Squad second, because it is off-putting to look at. It's horrifying in a similar way to Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure. Something's just wrong about it. It seems like a game that if you install on your computer, something might come out of your computer to get you. Which is
Talking
that's a
about
sign.
It is-
Captain Crunch again.
It is Cruelty Squad and Captain Crunch. Both of them feel
Yeah.
like you're allowing something foul into your life that I appreciate. And
Cruelty Squad is the type of game where when John Waters, bless his soul, leaves this earth, there are people who are ready to take his subversive art mantle, and we're going to be okay. The kids will be all right.
And they're all in Eastern and Northern Europe, weirdly enough. So congratulations, Best Horror Signalis and runner-up Cruelty Squad. The Voidburger 1-2 special there. Best Drama. The nominees are Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Citizen Sleeper, Signalis, Kingdom Hearts 3, Mass Effect 2, Sea of Stars, and Gorogoa. Are we missing
This is actually a
anything?
pretty good category.
Yeah.
We probably are missing
Drama's one of
something.
those fun words, isn't it?
It is.
Looking over the list, has Bear and Breakfast been nominated for a single thing?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Could be nominated for Best Puzzler, I guess.
Hard to.
I mean,
figure
running a
where it
small
fits.
business can be dramatic.
True.
That's true.
I was debating, wow, am I really going to go with Signalis twice? But I actually might give it to Citizen Sleeper for Best Drama, just because I feel like some of the choices you have to make and the way that some of the stories, not Fang, end and in decidedly not positive notes, in fact, in some downright brutal situations at that, makes it truly a heart-wrenching drama.
That's a good call. That's a good argument.
I think that Disco Elysium and this game are cut from the same cloth in terms of just putting you in these like no-win scenarios and really making you just move forward from them and feeling like crap.
Except
Yeah.
at least with Citizen, I came away liking the experience of Citizen Sleeper a little bit more. I felt like my person was more defensible and the game's just generally less cynical.
I will vote for the drama that was the ordeal of playing and having to talk about Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, which was a saga for us as a podcast.
That was
if you'd like-
dramatic.
If you'd like to hear about that, we talked about it extensively in the Getting Over It show. So that's my vote for this category.
No.
No.
It can
that
have
could be
the
your
vote.
vote.
Okay, fine.
That's your vote.
Don't take away M's right to freedom of speech.
Look, that's a compelling argument. That is her vote.
ZP, as a libertarian, you should support people throwing away their vote.
You're free to
do.
support
I
the
do.
Constitution.
You think that you
Nice.
caught me in a Hippocrates doth I?
Good get.
I support M.
Anyway,
Go
I'll
for a
also
third-party
vote for
ticket.
Getting Over It.
As a socialist,
Yeah.
I also support throwing away your vote.
I would lean Signalis personally, but if I have to form a coalition, I would go with Citizen Sleeper before I would go for Getting Over It. So Signalis is my vote. Will someone else join
Signalis
me?
is my vote too. Gino.
Good.
You have my support.
Good. Jeff.
I'd put it with, for all the reasons ZP articulated, I'd go with Citizen Sleeper.
So we have a
Yeah, baby.
three-way tie.
Three-way tie.
Can I interest you in Signalis? It's about lesbian cyborgs and their messy romance leading to the end of times.
The Nature of Existence?
Yeah.
It is
The
very
King
I
in
mean,
Yellow.
That is more or less what Citizen Sleeper is about at some point too.
At
True.
the end of the day, like I guess I go with Citizen Sleeper being more of a drama because again, there are more characters. It feels more like an ensemble. It is an ensemble cast, and so it feels more authentically like a traditional drama, whereas Signalis is very, let's say, obtuse about its storytelling aspirations until you get to a certain point in the game.
Sure.
Very vague until you get to a moment.
Okay.
But consider the drama that is climbing a infinite tower of shit.
You know,
What
unlike
if an
Braden,
Australian man talked to you about philosophy
Well, the
and
world's
be
most
like, Oi! What if you failed, innit? Shrimp on the barbie.
You know, unlike Braden, I did listen to your Getting Over It podcast, and I will admit that by the time it was over, I was drenched in sweat. I felt like I had listened to a divorce court proceeding.
It was almost the show that ended the podcast.
Let me just throw this out there. The category is best drama, not most drama.
Sometimes
quality
a lot
is quantity.
is good.
Okay, so we need to break the tie between Citizen Sleeper and Signalis because no one's. I could be moved to Citizen Sleeper. I don't think anyone's getting moved over to Getting Over It.
I haven't played Citizen Sleeper. I have no opinion.
It's pretty good.
I'll vote for Citizen Sleeper so Benefati doesn't win.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Benefati loses.
So the winner is Citizen Sleeper with runners up, Getting Over It, and Signalis.
Hell yeah.
This.
All
I
right.
hated that game so much.
Yeah. It's fucking because it sucks. Best drama winner. Congratulations, Citizen Sleeper. Best action is our next category with nominees: Mass Effect 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, Anthem, Cruelty Squad, Chex Quest, and Katamari Damacy Reroll.
It's a weird category.
It is a weird category. This is always our weirdest category. Maybe we should cut this category.
Yeah, maybe you fuckos should play actual action games instead of picking Chex Quest as a goof. Because you're like, ha, look at us, cereal. I don't know how to install a WAD. What is that?
I installed
so
the WAD.
Braden,
I don't know.
Specifically.
I don't know what that is.
You're saying words, I don't get it.
I don't understand these technical terms. Installing Doom levels, what arcane sorcery is this? I just want to put in the disc and hit play.
I nominated Chex Quest, not Doom. Next question.
I feel very attacked.
Yeah. So the nominees again: Mass Effect 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, Anthem, Cruelty Squad, Chex Quest, Katamari Damacy Reroll. I lean Mass Effect 2, I think.
If it was Mass Effect 3, I would go for it.
Yeah,
but
Mass
I
Effect
don't think
3
Mass Effect 2 is good.
What?
Mass Effect 3 is a much better shooter
I
than
agree.
2.
It is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Kingdom Hearts 3 has the most action.
That's true.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Hey, if you play Kingdom Hearts 3 on critical mode, and use all of the skills that turn off all of the bullshit that happens when you press triangle, it's almost good.
There is this thing nominated at the bottom of this where it's Katamari.
It's not an action game.
It's not, but
I don't need
action
Twitch
of playing
reflexes
it's
to
great.
play Katamari. I just need marijuana.
You pick up the big cow. You avoid all the little cows and tell me it's not action.
This
Look
isn't
me in
best
the eye when you
mechanic.
do it.
We'll get to best
to that.
mechanic. That's true.
Yeah, that's Katamari.
It's
I vote Kingdom Hearts 3.
You know what? The hell with it. I will vote for Cruelty Squad.
There was that time when I used my intestines as a bungee cord and
Yeah.
skipped most of the
Everything's
level.
on the table in Cruelty Squad. It has the action.
It has tactical shooter elements, and it hates you.
It does
does.
hate you.
It wants your eyeballs to bleed, so it's doing action in the game and also against your body.
Is Anthem any good as an action game?
That's its only competence.
That's its
Yeah.
only good competent part, and like the floaty mech suit stuff is actually kind of good.
Yes.
raw
The flying
action
is good.
wise. I would take it over. God, this is so dire. I would take the action in Anthem over Mass Effect 2, and I would
Yeah?
take it over the action in Final Fantasy 15, which is
Oh, for sure.
I get why it's here.
It's Kingdom
but
Hearts for
no.
babies.
It's
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
because it's legally an action game.
Yeah, like I've not played Kingdom Hearts 3, but I've played a Kingdom Hearts game enough
You
to
get it.
know that.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with I'm okay with Cruelty Squad. That game I hate. It hates me, but there were some moments where I was like, "Wow, this is kind of compelling."
It has some
The creative ways that you need to
underneath
figure
the
out how to
part
kill
where
people.
it's a weird game by an insane Finnish man who really hates capitalism and also your eyeballs. It's got some very interesting like tactical shooter, immersive sim, adjacent elements. There's that level in the mall
There is that level
where
in the
there are
mall.
giant robot skeleton guards, and you
Yeah.
can, if you bring a rocket launcher, you just blow up the target from the entrance and then leave. Yeah,
That's what I did. There was a level where I used the bungee cord, small intestine, to just like go down an elevator, walk up to the person I had to kill them, and then go up the elevator using the bungee cord again
Yeah.
instead of
All
going
right.
through the whole level.
Yeah, I am casting my lot with Cruelty Squad.
It's like Machete,
right.
the film.
All right, fine. Cruelty Squad.
All right, the winner of Best Action, Cruelty Squad, with runner-up Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh God, what have we done?
Didn't see that coming.
yeah. If
honestly.
only, yeah.
Wait, did
Maybe
Kingdom
next
Hearts
It's
time.
going to be
get
great when you
runner-up on
actually
my
play a
one
real
vote?
action game
Yes.
and you're like, I didn't
Nice.
like it. I had to press buttons and learn mechanics and
Devil May
have
Cry 3
reflexes.
Terrible.
You know, I'm going to pick an action game out of spite at some point, and you'll see that I'm okay at them at that point.
Yeah, pick DMC instead of Devil May Cry.
I've been playing a lot of Smash Bros. Lately. Does that
How dare
count?
you? No.
That's a fighting game.
That's also wrong, but whatever.
What if you pick Smash Bros, but you only played Bayonetta?
That's how I play Smash Bros.
There are other
I
ways to play
wouldn't
it.
like anyone in this podcast to be on a list, so I would advise against getting into Smash Bros.
That's true. So yes, Pete, to answer your question earlier, your sole vote for Kingdom Hearts 3 made it runner-up. Way to go.
Yay.
All right, I apologize. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, that's
Kyrie
good.
knows. Best Adventure is the next category, with nominees Temtem, Sea of Stars, Dragon Age 2, Dave the Diver, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan? Yeah, Legends of the Titan, and Gorogoa.
We didn't play many adventures either.
Sea of Stars is pretty friggin' good, y'all.
Off the deep end, this is where we coalesce into a coalition.
Yeah.
What do you
Okay.
have for it?
I would cast my lot with Etrian Odyssey 4.
I also vote for Etrian Odyssey 4.
Wow, what a coincidence. I vote for Etrian Odyssey 4.
Main
No
podcast.
greater adventure than drawing your
Do we
own
have to-
maps.
Do we collapse behind Sea of Stars?
And then we make it a tie, and
And then we
sit
have to
here
fight.
for another 20 minutes.
Well, we don't have to. Maybe we don't. So we've got 3 votes for Sea of Stars, it sounds like, and 3 votes for Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan. Hey, Jeff.
I'm here. You
Sea
got
of
me.
Stars is pretty good. It's like Chrono Trigger, but what if it was slightly different and played better?
Okay,
that's-
but what if
yeah,
it was
that's
a
cool.
blobber?
Yeah. What if it was more like wizardry?
How do you feel about tiles?
How do you feel about like finding
Grid
maps
maps.
and then filling the maps in?
I don't
And then
want to
putting
draw maps.
beacons.
A very
Etrian Odyssey is
smart
about.
and interesting overworld navigation system.
Oh, wait. I think we
Is
got
there?
this. Do you remember
FOEs.
the last time that we snuck in an off the deep end nominee for best music? The music in this game is by the same person who made
The
This is
Gauntlet
best
4
music.
soundtrack.
Gauntlet.
The music in Sea of Stars is made by the Chrono Trigger guy.
Yeah,
It's really good.
it's really good. We'll have that fight later.
Mm.
But come on.
Honestly, I actually don't feel good about voting for Sea of Stars as an adventure. It's too much of an homage. It really honestly is.
This is the 4th Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah,
The best
Yeah,
one.
and this is the one that's the
and
most fun
that
to
is
play.
the 18th indie JRPG Chrono Trigger fall throwback. It's just the first
It's
good
really
one.
good.
No one's talking
But it's
about fucking I Am
It's the first one
Setsuna
that's not
over
made
here.
using Game Maker or RPG Maker.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's better.
The fact that it's good is important. I consider it the most important part of it.
Okay,
That's a
hold
fine
on.
point.
Yeah,
Okay.
Etrian Odyssey 4 is the best one.
So I have a problem where I only own a Nintendo 3DS. So I have a lot of friends that are playing this game called Sea of Stars. And I looked for it on my Nintendo 3DS, and they don't have those games in the store. And the eShop is also closed. However, Etrian Odyssey 4, it's on my 3DS. It's just right there.
That's a great point.
Yeah, just wanted to put that one out there.
It's true.
Mr. Smartass.
Sea of Stars wasn't released for this defunct console. That's really an oversight by them.
How dare you?
And on the eShop that's also shut down. So I didn't play Etrian Odyssey 4. What makes it a good? Is it drawing the maps? Is it that the maps that you draw are fun this time?
It's got a very cool sense of progression to it. So it is a game where you create a party of 5 characters, really as many as you want, but you're rotating 5 at like any point, and progressing through a world in basically chunks. So there's like multiple overworld maps that you kind of progress through over the course of the game with quests, and each one of those maps has like several discrete dungeons in it, and none of it is like explored basically in world lore. So every time you find a new place to go, you spend like the first little outing in that new dungeon as like a sortie, just kind of like learning where the walls are and learning how not to like die, fall in pits, get poisoned to death, etc. So the next time you go in, you're like, okay, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to feel like a god, because I know all the routes that all of like the horrible giant monsters walk around in this place. I know where everything is. I'm going to get in and execute. Like being able to have that loop of like mastery happen several times with this party that is also like accumulating new skills and you're like specializing them in different directions is super cool. Now, am I describing things that also can kind of happen in Sea of Stars? Yeah, like we're talking about RPGs. Like let's be honest here. But I don't know. For me, this is a pretty clear cut. Like it's Etrian Odyssey. Yeah.
All right. Sea of Stars, you go to another world. There's so much going on. It's such a fun adventure. All the characters.
Portal, and then you end up in a cyber world when you were in a fantasy world, and
the characters are fun. You start out and you don't have you walk around on an island, then you get thrown onto another island by a giant stone man.
That's what happens in Tecmo Secret of the Stars.
They put you in a baseball and they throw you, and then you eventually get a ship, and then you get to fly. You get different modes of transportation, y'all. Like an RPG. Like you're on an adventure. Eh?
Our game also has modes of transportation.
I'm about to break this tie in the worst possible way.
How?
Flip a coin.
I'm gonna
go for a different game.
I'm gonna go to Temtem, and then Etrian Odyssey is gonna win.
Are we sure we can't convince anyone of the block to move off of Etrian Odyssey for Sea of Stars? It's the greatest block. Here.
The greatest block is the blocks that create a grid that you navigate.
Don't you like grid-based navigation systems and movement systems?
That was beautiful.
How do you enjoy blobbing?
No, but the winner is Etrian Odyssey 4, Legend of the Titans, with runner-up Sea of Stars.
We did it.
And Temtem.
Yay.
And Temtem. Way to go, Temtem. You technically came in third.
And the HM.
God.
So winner, Etrian Odyssey, Best Adventure, Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan. Next category, Best Puzzler. Nominees are Portal 2, World of Goo, The Case of the Golden Idol, Strange Horticulture, Signalis, and Gorogoa.
You've somehow picked like the gold standard for like an entire the entire modern era of a genre by picking Portal 2, which makes everything else in this category feel incredibly in this David versus Goliath, but also David just stepped on you.
You're saying David stepped on them?
Wait, Portal is David in this?
No.
Small indie game, Portal
I think
2?
That
Get your fucking Portal biblical
2.
metaphors right.
Portal 2 is what wins this category.
I disagree. It's Golden Idol.
Those are the two that I'm split between. They're both very good.
I vote
As
Portal
a
2.
picker of puzzle games.
I would
Yes.
also point out that the co-op mode in Portal 2, whether you're playing this online or split screen,
Is an avenue for violence.
it is also just as creatively, if not more cleverly designed than the main campaign.
Em, you were saying something?
I was going to ask Pete what he was going with as a picker of puzzle games. Because
I did.
I
I
feel
picked a
like
lot of
half
them
of
on
these
this
are
list.
his picks.
Yeah, what? I picked World of Goo, Curse of the Golden Strange, Horticulture, and Gorogoa.
Yep.
And I'm going to pick Portal 2, the one I didn't pick.
I pick good games. What can I say? Except when
You
I
pick
don't.
mainstream games. Basic.
So Portal 2, I think we've got. Do we have a majority for Portal 2?
Yeah.
We've got 4 votes, so I think
Yeah.
Portal 2 gets it.
That
and then
is
the
a
runner-up
majority.
is Case of the Golden Idol, right?
I have not played Case of the Golden Idol. I've heard enough people talk exuberantly about it that it is something I desperately want to go play, but
You should. It's very
I
good.
can't
Like,
speak
it
to
is
it at
for
all.
you.
So
It's a good runner-up.
All right, Portal 2 is the winner. Way to go, small indie company Valve. And also congratulations to the Case of the Golden Idol. I'm sorry you were in a category with Portal 2. That's tough. Next up, the Trenchie for Best Character. The nominees are as follows. GLaDOS from Portal 2. Garl from Sea of Stars. The Prince from Katamari Damacy Reroll. The King of All Cosmos, also Katamari Damacy Reroll. Sophie and Anna from Boss Game. Grunt, Mass Effect 2. Varric Tethras? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes. Sort of.
Dragon Age 2. Meryl, Dragon Age 2. The Temtagonist, Temtem. Dave, the Diver, from Dave the Diver. Pisto, from Final Fantasy Unlimited. Azel, from Panzer Dragoon Saga. Santa, from specifically Violent Night. Chris Massey, from the movie Dear Christmas. And Wheatley, from Portal 2.
You don't understand why these Christmas themed movies are on here. Neither do I.
We have watch-alongs on the
If you
Discord.
join the Discord, you can join along.
You can watch
You
these.
can watch the blandest human being known to man fail to act.
Mm,
And also-
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I
trying
love it.
so hard.
the omnipotent Chris Massey.
Chris Massey Forrest Gumping his way through the small, tiny town of Lake Tahoe.
Look, he's a volunteer firefighter, tow truck operator, Christmas light rigger, cook, glass blower, guitarist,
Dancer.
dancer. Yep,
but maybe they fell in love too quick, you know?
that's
Like,
true.
The tension of the movie.
You know,
Is they're
Santa
worried they're
and
too
Violent
fast.
Night. If you ever wanted to see Santa garrote wire a man with lights, with Christmas lights, that's pretty good. That's a thing that happens. He finds ice skates in that movie at one point, and it leads to some great moments. What are people's actual votes, though?
I'm going to let GLaDOS keep running. You know, get some Portal 2 action going here.
That's fair.
It's also, shouldn't the OS be capitalized?
Sure. If you want to fix
As a
that,
co-
go for it.
As a copywriter, I am bothered.
Go for it. Fix that.
As of the 2020 census, Lake Tahoe has South Lake Tahoe has 20,000 people.
Chris Massey knows all of them personally. Do we
carries
have any?
all of their sins like the Christ child.
Do we have any other votes for things other than GLaDOS?
I like
about-
the King of All Cosmos a lot.
Oh,
Like
he's
a
pretty good.
lot.
He is good.
Yeah, I'm personally torn between GLaDOS, Garl, and the King of All Cosmos.
Yeah, like I'd like to vote for Azel from Panzer Dragoon Saga. When I sit here and try to think about that is a cool looking character that has something of an arc, but to be honest, like there's not really a standout character in that game. I would say
No.
the plot of that game is maybe like the 5th coolest thing about it, or like relatively low on the list. So I can't do that in good faith. I think Pissed is the only good part of Final Fantasy Unlimited, just about.
That doesn't
But-
make him a good character, but he is the best thing in that.
No, and Chris Massey is a hysterical piss take. But again, I cannot vote against Katamari, so I got to vote for the king.
His chain's so good. His character design is so good.
Codpiece.
Everything he says is great.
I've been studying Esperanto. Yeah.
Yeah. M, where do you come down in this struggle?
I don't know. There's a lot of good characters, and I'm not sure many of these are those characters. I'm
Are we
between-
missing entries?
I don't know. I can't remember any other characters.
Well, there's no one from Kingdom Hearts 3 here, but that seems like it's a feature, not a bug.
Mhm.
Where's Donald Duck?
Yeah.
Remember
Where's
Donald
Goofy?
Duck's heroic sacrifice?
I do remember that. I remember Goofy's heroic sacrifice. I remember
That
so
wasn't in
many
this
things.
one. That was in the second one. Yeah, I don't know. I will vote for Garl, who is the main character of the game that you are the player characters in.
He's the best boy.
He's just a good boy.
He's
just a good boy. He does nothing wrong in his whole life, and then he dies. Spoilers for Sea of Stars.
That's fine. This is Game of Year. Spoilers for everything.
Yes.
But then he comes back, and then he gets one wish when he comes back, and his wish is to have a nice dinner with all of his friends.
Yeah. He has the what is it? The Citadel DLC in the in the main game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think he's the one.
I can vote with. That's a compelling argument. I like that. I like Garl. He's great. Jeff,
What's not to like?
Jeff, you've gone King of All Cosmos. ZP, who do you?
I was going to vote for Chris Massey.
Excellent. Braden. Excellent choice.
Well, listen, I mean, the Gara Rock Lee fight in the Chunin exam arc is one of the best fights
Good fight.
in all of shonen anime.
Good fight.
But I gotta hand it to the King of All Cosmos for being a shitty dad in the best way.
I see. So we've got Garl. 2 votes for Garl. 2 votes for the King of All Cosmos. 1 vote for GLaDOS. And 1 vote for Chris Massey of Lake Tahoe. The mayor of Lake Tahoe.
Is this a thing I should know? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Chris
Yeah, you
Massey
should.
love.
So
Yes.
we watched Dear Christmas, which is a movie about a woman who has the #1 podcast in the country.
About
And
holiday love.
Yes, which has 1 episode. And
Oh, it has several, but she's never been in love. Is the
But she's
thing.
doing a podcast because,
and it's Melissa Joan Hart.
And yeah.
Oh, it's Melissa
And then
Joan Hart? That's cool.
She goes home, and Chris
Joan Hart?
Massey is the guy she falls in love with for no reason.
Well,
Who's Chris
Because he's
Massey?
the only guy in town.
Is that a
Mr.
character's
Christmas.
name? Or
Yes.
a person's name?
he's
No, that's
Mr.
an actual
Christmas.
person.
That's his name.
He's
Chris
Mr.
Massey.
Chris Massey. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
Hallmark movie, you see.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, Hallmark movie.
So, is anyone going to move to Garl or the King of All Cosmos and break this tie?
What if you all moved to Chris Massey?
We're not
Make the
moving to
joke
Chris
a
Massey.
reality.
No. Bad.
I'm gonna move to Chris Massey.
Fuck.
Oh, God. Now we've got a
How
two-way
dare you.
tie, and Braden's the kingmaker.
Braden, come on, man.
Finally.
You
Or
have
is it-
power.
Or Pete, I guess. Pete, you are also capable of breaking this tie by
Finally.
moving from GLaDOS to Garl or
I'm not
something.
voting for Garl.
Well,
Once
not
again,
happening.
I listen, Gara's fine, but I gotta give it to Chris Massey then.
You
I can't
sickos.
believe this.
Just so we can keep going.
You absolute sickos. He's nothing. He's a nothing character. That's his whole thing, is that there's nothing interesting about this man.
Yeah, but he has so much in him. He's
He
got
has
so much
many
potential.
jobs.
He's got so many jobs. He's Mr. Christmas for an entire town, and everyone knows him.
He's
Also, the film was made, let's say, during the COVID times when
That's why
all
he's-
television and movie productions were shut down, and
That's
you
why
can
he's got all
tell.
the jobs. That's
We're
why he's got
done,
all the
right?
jobs.
In Lake
You
Tahoe.
don't have to convince me. He's won. your ridiculous coalition is
There are a
triumphed.
lot of Christmas trees in Dear Christmas.
There's a category for this. It's best non-game. You could have done. All right, the winner of best character in a category that contains GLaDOS, Wheatley, Grunt, the king of all cosmos. The winner of best character of this year is Chris Massey from the film Dear Christmas, a movie we didn't even do a podcast about.
That's
welcome.
our failing. That's not
Experience
that's not
it
the
on your
list's
own.
failing.
It's free.
Another deep listens tradition triumphs.
The winner is Chris Massey,
It's-
with runners-up Garl from Sea of Stars and the Prince. Sorry, the King of All Cosmos, not the Prince. Sorry, his dad, his mean dad. You sickos. Next up, worst character: Max from Temtem, Wheatley from Portal 2, Jacob from Mass Effect 2, Bennett Foddy from Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Xehanort, all 13 of him. In Kingdom Hearts 3, you, in the player character in Cruelty Squad, Squid from Will You Snail, Noctis in Final Fantasy 15, Gavin
Noctis
Archer.
Lucis Calum.
You say his old name, damn it.
That's how they say it in Tekken. Noctis Lucis Calum.
Excellent.
Heihachi Mishima.
I hate his name so much more now that you've said all of it. Gavin Archer from Mass Effect 2 Overlord, the guy who rigs his autistic brother up to a supercomputer, because he's basically a computer already.
Oh, that guy.
That guy. Carver Hawk from Dragon Age 2, Anders from Dragon Age 2, Ethan, Citizen Sleeper, the Solstice Warriors from Sea of Stars, Captain Crunch from Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, that war criminal, Black Wind from Final Fantasy Unlimited, Lisa Pacifist from Final Fantasy Unlimited, Earl Tyrant from Final Fantasy Unlimited, Cindy, Final Fantasy 15, Luna Freya, Final Fantasy 15, and Sid from Final Fantasy Unlimited. Many Final Fantasy Unlimited characters, lots of representation here. So where are we coming down? Braden, you haven't gone first. Where do you come
All
down
right.
on this?
I mean, Anders.
Actual war
Not only
criminal.
did they
Correct.
take a character from an already existing thing and completely change his characterization, because he's a very different character in the Dragon Age Origins expansion that none of you played.
I played it.
And it's
One would argue that maybe Awakening is the best thing to bear the Dragon Age name.
maybe Awakening's the best Dragon Age thing. Who's to say? If you disagree, Pinkfreeze at deep.lol. But Anders does a 9/11. He does a fantasy 9/11. And the game expects you to forgive him if you want to keep having a healer in your party. A dedicated healer mage.
That's pretty tough. That's probably bad. That sounds like a character who's a little bit tough to get along with. So we got one vote for
Also,
Anders.
he's a shithead.
Yeah, he just
He sucks.
He's a snarky asshole who's like, actually, if the mages were all free, we would have a utopia.
He's also
I'm
racist
not
towards
possessed
multiple
by a
characters, like multiple characters, whether it be... Oh, there's the whole thing when Anders finds and encounters a person with intellectual disabilities. Everything that he says at that person is terrible.
Also,
Speaking of-
he's a fucking hypocrite because he treats Meryl like shit.
Speaking of doing terrible things to people with mental disabilities, might I nominate our good friend Gavin Archer from Mass Effect 2 Overlord, a guy who in order to make a supercomputer, hooks his autistic brother up to it because his brother's basically a computer anyway, and then argues that you should leave his brother. I think he argues to just kill his brother rather than just unhook him from the machine.
So what I'm hearing is that
better off dead.
The real nominee for worst character should be BioWare's writing staff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. No.
Can we write that in?
2010.
Sure.
2010. I'm writing that in. BioWare. Writing.
I want to just correct something because I replayed Mass Effect 2 rather recently. The choice is between ending Gavin Archer's brother's life and then destroying the supercomputer, allowing Gavin Archer to maintain the supercomputer, and he says he'll be treated like a hamster, a well-fed hamster, or freeing Gavin Archer's brother and then just like destroying the supercomputer project. Those are the options.
Okay. All of them are bad.
Freeing them's okay.
I've put in a Unity ticket of BioWare written characters in 2010.
I think it's a pretty good pick.
Okay. Do we have anyone else that feels strongly? I feel like we should just give a little bit of attention to Blackwind, Lisa Pacifist, and Earl Tyrant and Sid are truly terrible, each in their own way. Each half-finished, misshapen characters.
Are they worse than Anders or Gavin Archer, though?
No,
Okay.
They're just boring and like they're poorly written in the way that like if a first grader tells you a story, you know how they never have anything interesting to say, but they keep repeating themselves. That's Final Fantasy Unlimited, but for like 25 episodes.
I mean, Xehanort's just gibberish, too, if we're just tossing out things that suck.
That's true. Squid, I hate how it sounds. Noctis, I hate you. Bennett Foddy, come on. Terrible, but
This might be one of our
just
strongest
because he's from
categories.
Australia doesn't mean you have to discriminate against him.
Cindy, just cleavage and Daisy Dukes and
That's
barely
not
a
her fault.
personality.
So there are some good characters on the list.
Carver.
Like, they're not all bad.
Carver sucks. Anders
Carver's
sucks.
just a whiny little shit,
Captain Crunch is haunted.
and he's a shit even if you save his life.
Mhm.
Great. Jacob, the most useless Mass Effect character.
I mean, Captain Crunch is responsible for, who knows how many scars of the upper palate.
That's true. And Captain Crunch, those Crunchlings are trapped,
Yeah, he's
and he's feeding them slop.
a prison warden.
So do we agree that BioWare written
BioWare.
characters in 2010, the Unity ticket of Anders and... I think that's fair. They were probably written by the same people or similar people.
I'm sure.
I mean, we can look that up.
We can name names.
You can, in fact, look that
David
up
Gator.
specifically.
Point
but yes.
David Gator specifically.
Well, we can. It is known like which BioWare staff wrote which character and which BioWare staff worked on which DLC.
That's true.
Okay, well, I think the Unity ticket of Gavin Archer, Anders, falling under BioWare written characters in 2010, worst character. Way to go with runners-up, everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all bad, but those are the winners.
Yeah.
Unprecedented, a Unity ticket, but, it
I
happens.
mean, when you
every
really
once in a
go
while.
above and beyond, you deserve the prize.
Yeah, when you continue to make the same mistake over and over and over again, as BioWare did in this time period with respect to writing characters with mental illnesses and how to relate to them, like they really had a hot corner between Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 2 Overlord. There were a lot of bad choices they did in that time period. Okay, next up. Best Soundtrack. Nominees are Mass Effect 2, Final Fantasy 3, Signalis, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, Sea of Stars, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Boss Game The Final Boss Is My Heart, and Panzer Dragoon Saga. Where do we come down? Jeff, where do you come down on this?
I'm torn between Saga and Katamari, to the surprise of absolutely nobody.
All right.
I have a similar issue. I'm torn between Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is some good old-fashioned synthy JRPG music, and then also Katamari Damacy, which is maybe some funkalicious music.
I'm torn between Sea of Stars and Katamari. M, where do you come down?
I think I'm between Sea of Stars and Pillars of Eternity 2, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Didn't see that one.
I don't know.
It's fine. It's good.
I like the sea shanty thing that they do. They do mix-ups of those, but they make it fit their setting.
Forgot you were a sea shanty person.
Yeah.
Pete,
Unfortunately.
that's a shame. Pete, where did you come down? Pete, you are muted if you are trying to give an opinion.
Oh my goodness, this is a tough one this year. I think I will also go with Katamari though. You know, there was some Bob. I was moving. I was moving while I was playing. I'll admit it.
Okay. So it seems like everyone can get behind Katamari winning.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Should we play some clips so that people have a sense of what we're picking between here? Does anyone have a favorite Katamari song that they can call up?
I will say,
Katamari.
if all of Sea of
That's all
Stars
you
was
need.
as good as Mole Person Village, I would have voted for that. That song slaps.
It does. I mean, I've got some of my favorite Sea of Stars songs just on my Spotify at all times now.
I've got a lot of. I think "Bless My Stars" from Katamari is maybe the one I keep going back to the most. But also, I still do have significant parts of the Panzer Dragoon Saga soundtrack in my playlist, ready to go.
Okay, let's do a little 30-second clips just so people have a sense of these songs. Jeff, could you find... I mean, Lonely Rolling Star or the opening feel like the big bops for Katamari. I feel like you would have access to Katamari music in a way I don't.
I'm gonna blow your mind. I don't have those ready to just pull up because I wasn't expecting to do a music show here.
That's fair. That's fair.
What if we gave M homework and gave a clip? Like, let's figure this out later.
No.
No. I'll send you like a 30-second clip from a good track from the Panzer Dragoon Saga soundtrack, and I'll throw in a good one from Katamari. We just slap those in. I'll make it real. I'll chunk them up together and send them to you in one file, and you can just put it in here.
いること絶対必然でもあなた大事な夢を描く終わるまではずっとそこで待っているよロンリーロリさ
where the clap was.
I'm sure I'll find that.
I'm sure you will. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll
So
edit. We'll do editing
who
magic.
wins
figure it
The winner is Katamari Damacy reroll
Yay.
with runners up, Sea of Stars, and
Yes.
Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yeah, that's fine.
The Trenchy for best soundtrack goes to
Katamari, it's hard to beat Katamari.
in almost anything.
La 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 la.
Oh.
La 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 la. Yeah.
It's so
Anyway,
good. Next up, next category, Prettiest Game. The nominees are Sea of Stars, Signalis, Boss Game. The final boss is my heart. Citizen Sleeper, Dave the Diver, Anthem, Temtem, Katamari Damacy, Panzer Dragoon Saga, and Gorogoa.
Man, we played some ugly games this year.
Maybe you did, but not us.
Down.
where's Cruelty Squad?
You shut your mouth.
Outsider art is art, Peter.
Are you
I thought you were a
voting
subversive.
Yeah, I thought you supported the subversive arts art house.
No,
Are
I
you
support
submitting-
socially progressive art with good themes that support workers.
Mm,
Yeah, like Cruelty Squad.
You got me
It's
there,
not on the
actually.
list. Sorry, it didn't make the
Anyway.
list. I'm sorry.
You could write it in. It's not too late.
Boy. This is actually a shockingly hard category
Yeah.
because on
Lot
the
of pretty
one
games.
hand we have games like Katamari and Panzer Dragoon Saga, which are on the older side, but they make do with limited technology and create a feel that still kind of stands the test of time. Then you have the technical side of things like Anthem or even something like Gorogoa, which are very exquisitely made games. But I don't know how to balance that.
Unity tickets, Signalis. It
All right,
looks like
time
those
to
old
go
games.
back to the GameSpot Awards from 2004. We need Best Graphics Artistic and Best Graphics Technical, and then we give both awards to Half-Life 2.
We do not need more categories. I vote Gorogoa.
I also
looks like a
vote
painting.
Gorogoa.
I was leaning Signalis personally, but Gorogoa is a good candidate. I'm torn between Signalis, Katamari, and Gorogoa. So, Jeff, where do you come down? Panzer Dragoon and Katamari.
The way Panzer Dragoon Saga looks
Yeah, it's not
is it looks so much better than any equivalent JRPG from that era because it's 15 hours long. But also, Katamari is Katamari.
Now,
And
I'm gonna go
Gorogoa is fucking pretty art game. I don't know, whatever you guys.
but Braden, here's my pitch. Okay, here's my pitch. We're talking
Uh-huh.
about the definition of the word like prettiest game. So Anthem has a lot of pretty trees
Uh-huh.
and waterfalls,
Uh-huh.
and it looks good. And the mech
Those
suits,
motion captured cutscenes that say absolutely nothing
what
are
if
very
you
technically
decked
pretty.
out your mech suit and to look like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man the movie? That's pretty. That's a look.
Anyway, and I like how Signalis looks a lot. I think Signalis is a perfect blending of like artistic limitation or technical limitations with artistic excellence, which is
I
also what I
love-
could say about Panzer Dragoon.
I love when Signalis goes first person. It's
Mm.
some of the coolest looking stuff I've seen in a game in a long time. Gorogoa, it looks like a painting. It's really beautiful, technically done. But man, when Signalis goes first person and like you get the silhouetting and it stays pixelated, but everything moves so well, man. So it sounds like Gorogoa at least has enough votes to get the majority.
I would like to
Yeah.
demand a recount. Who are those
Okay.
votes?
M and Pete both went for Gorogoa. I think I come down on Signalis. And then we've got one vote for how many votes for Panzer Dragoon?
Put me down for Saga. Put me down
Okay,
for Panzer
one.
Dragoon.
And then ZP and Braden, where do you come down?
Panzer Dragoon.
Okay, 2. And ZP?
I might actually go with Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Go for it.
All right. Prettiest game. I mean, it's a pretty game. I'm not going to... I think these are all good games, so I'm not going to be like...
They
we
made
need to form
dark
a-
wizardry with them square polygons.
Yeah.
The
Do
draw
I want to
distance is so
explain,
far.
like, the Saturn architecture, let's say, with 3D
No,
textures?
they can
you're
listen
supposed
to our
go,
podcast episode.
They're supposed to be polygons, but the Saturn, those weird wackos in Sega, decided, what if instead of polygons, we programmed our 3D textures using quadrilaterals?
Wild.
That's very compelling. Please check out the Panzer Dragoon Saga podcast if you want to hear more about that and why the draw distances are so good. So Prettiest game winner, Panzer Dragoon Saga, wins the Trenchie with runners-up Gorogoa and Signalis. Next up, best performance or voice acting. Nominees are GLaDOS from Portal 2, Squid, Will You Snail, the entire cast of Critical Role, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Femshep, Mass Effect 2, one of those Dragon Age 2 characters, one of those Kingdom Hearts 3 characters, one of those Final Fantasy 15 boys, Bennett Foddy, and Wheatley from Portal 2.
Are we talking about Japanese or English dub?
Up to you. What would you prefer?
Because I'm just saying Japanese dub Varric. No, I don't.
Okay, here's an insane thing to say.
Okay, please do.
Is there space for a Panzer Dragoon Saga character on here?
Do they have voices?
They have voice
They
acting?
do.
That
It's
game
voice
has
acting.
full
That
voice
game has-
acting.
And
The
it's,
game has full voice acting with
What?
lip flap and facial animations.
Yeah. it's pretty good for the
They
day.
had
It's
full
remarkable.
voice acting
Yeah.
before Final Fantasy did it. Like, Final Fantasy only technically one-upped Panzer Dragoon Saga until 10.
Okay. I mean, if you want to throw someone on there, do you see them beating... I mean, I'm going to vote for Wheatley.
I'm as much as I love Panzer Dragoon, I actually do think that Stephen Merchant's performance as
yeah.
Wheatley.
Yeah, like that,
It's
that,
really
that,
good.
that wins.
Consider this: J.K. Simmons.
Great point.
Oh shit! I forgot
Oh,
about
yeah.
J.K. Simmons'
yeah,
performance.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What
That
is
is a
his
good
name?
one.
What is the name of his character again?
Just put a Unity ticket for Portal 2.
It's Cave
That-
Johnson. Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson here.
Yes.
That life
Boys
gives you
down at the
lemons
lab
line
have found some sort of goo.
I
was
think
one of the
that's-
funniest things I've heard in a game in years.
Is that
They
performance
brought him
or is
back
that
for
writing?
Aperture, the Steam Deck thing, and he's
Oh,
still
really?
really good.
I don't know. Like Simmons' portrayal of like as like the perennial tough talker boss man type is actually good, even if it's just J.K. Simmons being J.K. Simmons.
He's got
He's
a
not great in Baldur's Gate 3.
he has
You
a
don't
very
like
like
him in Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
I
J.K.
expect
Simmons
my workers
wanted-
to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and just
Yeah.
keep working until they get the results I want.
there's a crease where he could be the next Fred Willard if he wanted to. Because the thing about the Cave Johnson thing is he is also an oblivious dipshit. Like, in addition to everything else, which was Fred Willard's entire career. It was just like, man, totally unqualified for the thing that he is like actively doing in front of you. I would love it if he drafted into that spot. Oh, God rest Fred Willard. God rest. Triggs
Okay,
Tross.
so it sounds like winner Cave Johnson, follow up Wheatley,
Yeah, I think
Sure.
that's fair.
Yeah.
runner up Wheatley.
Portal 2 is killing it.
Remember when Valve made single player games?
Remember when they made
Yeah,
games?
they did. They still do. Didn't you play Half-Life Alyx with your virtual reality
Yeah, with
headset?
my $1,200 VR headset. Yeah.
Traded in my car and got a game.
Amazing. Best mechanic is our next category. The nominees are Gorogoa, all of it. Thinking with Portals 2 from Portal 2. Body part stock trading in Cruelty Squad. Starting small but getting big, Katamari Damacy. Fill in the blanks, Case of the Golden Idol. Goo physics in World of Goo. Locks in Sea of Stars. They just show you the EVs in Temtem. Summoning the Rides, Kingdom Hearts 3. The combat of Panzer Dragoon Saga. All of the mechanics of Dave the Diver, so many. And the job system, but in a Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 3, the introduction of the job system.
I think I wrote mechanics for Dave the Diver, which I think is a good mechanic. Like, best mechanic is mechanic. Is good.
To be fair,
Just
it
that
does
Ken
do
is
a
good
lot.
at beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Katamari though, it's one thing.
I mean, a
Yes.
Pokemon game that shows you the effort values.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
huge.
We
I-
love
I-
that.
That's such
actually
low
wanna-
hanging fruit, though. I mean, they've displayed some numbers.
True.
Yeah. Bring it up with Game Freak.
I want to
Freak,
actually pick
only
up something
Justin
that
could do
Braden said when they talked about the case of the Golden Idol a while ago. But like, as simple as like the whole fill in the blank system is in the case of the Golden Idol, it actually forces an adventure game to truly rely almost entirely on intuition, which rather than fiddly bullcrap. Which, as someone who's played a lot of games that are essentially misclones, it's a very novel system and far more in-depth than I ever predicted it would be.
That's fair, but Katamari, you get bigger, and the things that were walls become your food, and then you just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just such an elegant mechanic.
Your shithead dad needs more stars in the sky. You've got to roll up this entire town in 5 minutes.
That's all he'll allow you.
I vote Katamari.
Okay, I vote
Damn it.
Katamari also.
It's gonna be a Katamari sweep this year.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It's a good game. I can't deny that.
Okay.
Jeff?
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
celebrating its 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
excited for Katamari Damacy to finally get its
Timely
due.
as ever.
Well, to make you even madder, Braden, I'm going to go older, and I'm going to say the combat from Panzer Dragoon gets my vote because only solely on the video.
Oh,
like, no one,
Jeffrey.
yeah, because no one's done it again. Like, I'm actually continue to be impressed that game is like 25 years old
Yeah,
now,
because
and
3
no
people
one
played that game.
but no one has ripped off that combat system whole cloth. And
They
it is,
should.
like,
It's
so
really
cool.
fucking good.
It
Yeah.
is good. It turns
They
an
take a
entire
shmup,
JRPG into like a shoot 'em
And they
up
turn it into an
and
RPG.
and a rhythm game almost, where you have to actually pay attention to context clues.
It's awesome. Like, I'm fine with Katamari winning this. Totally, 100%. But I will give Panzer Dragoon a honor to be nominated ping here.
Okay, so the winner is Katamari Damacy with runner-up Panzer Dragoon Saga's Combat. And
I-
the mechanic.
I will give
Yep.
a vote for Case of the Golden Idol.
Hey, joining me.
Because I want it to be runner-up.
Okay.
So I do
when
think that's
when
pretty
you use deduction and
Yeah.
you
You
feel
use
smart,
your brain.
and also induction,
Mm.
Oh, no,
Mhm.
it's
everyone
both.
I've heard that uses induction stoves, they have to replace all their pots and pan. And
No,
The hell
it's
with that.
good because you see,
don't care
you
if
both
it's helping
use
the
small
environment.
details to deduce a larger picture, and you use large details to deduce
we
smaller.
going gas in
pe-
my household,
picture.
baby.
Stainless
and
steel
I
is
then
always
good.
recognize the
and then
dialect.
these and then fascism.
All right,
and
next up.
cursed idols.
The winner for the Trenchy for Best Mechanic goes to Katamari Damacy, starting small but getting big, with runners-up Fill in the Blanks, Case of the Golden Idol, and The Combat of Panzer Dragoon Saga. I need to play that game. That
Apparently.
seems like the best
Pretty
thing
good.
you all played, and it
Uh,
seems like
it-
a game that people should know more
It
about.
might be the best thing we've played this year. Not to
Yeah.
spoil anything.
Wow.
Not to spoil anything for our eventual GOTY, but yes.
Biggest disrespect of players' time. The nominations are Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Will You Snail, Dragon Age 2. Oh, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. That's cruel. Sea of Stars. Okay, we just put every RPG in here, I guess. Kingdom Hearts 3, Citizen Sleeper.
Oh, not all of them.
Yeah.
There's a special note to Kingdom Hearts 3 I think you should actually read, maybe.
And the Square Enix characters being on the DLC, but like
Mm.
barely. Citizen Sleeper, Legacy of the Wizard, and Hoshi wo Miruhito. I think to properly have the vote here, Jeff, ZP, Braden, one of you need to explain to M and Pete why Hoshi wo Miruhito is the winner of this category.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it's also a Famicom JRPG, and wasting your time is endemic to that entire
Wait.
swath. Hoshiwo
Dra-
Murahito just does it in the most inane, incompetent way possible.
Yeah, like
Is this
Dragon
the one
Quest
that-
1 might be the best JRPG on the Famicom, and that game wastes a ton of your time. Like, it's just part of the
I
deal.
think, unfortunately, Gino, that my co-hosts have been made soft after a certain guest pitched them that maybe this Hoshiwo is not as bad as we said.
No,
I
it's
do think-
terrible.
I
Yeah, no, but
do
to be
think
clear,
this game
bad game.
deserves this category. And just to go over in case Pete and Em have not read this, I actually have the rap sheet. So things that Hoshiwo Murahito, an RPG, subjects the player to have to deal with. 1. Being dropped into a new game without any explanation at all as to who you are or where you need to go. 2. The first town in the game is invisible and you must stumble upon it. In future reference points, you must make a note as to where it is, as it appears as just a normal tree texture in the rest of the background. 3. The character's overworld screen movement is incredibly slow. They move at approximately 2 tiles per second. 4. Leaving the second town and future towns, upon exiting them, it warps you back to your spawn point at the very start of the game rather than the exit holes of the location you just exited from. 5. The default combat selection is ESP, which is the game's version of Magic, but it does not begin the game with any ESP abilities because the game starts you at level 0. 6. The amount of hit points that it displays only reflects about 10% of the normal hit points you actually have. 7.
Wait,
Okay,
one
but
second.
are
Can I
these
just
wasting
throw?
our time?
Can I throw a thing about the ESP? If you click into a menu in combat, you can't click out of it. So if you click the wrong menu, you're stuck with that action
That shit.
because there's no cancel. Go ahead, 7. What is 7?
7. Doors must be opened with keycards, and keycards are expensive, sometimes requiring you to subject yourself to upwards of 10 to 15 combat encounters before you can afford one. 8. The passwords are incredibly long, but do not save the progress of all the experience levels and even gold that you've accumulated. Upon turning the game off, you only bank up to a certain point of your golden experience points. The rest get erased.
How long
9.
is this list?
Running from battle is not an innate ability. You must actually
Good
earn
question.
it at a high enough level. And 10. It is possible to do less damage with the first weapon than the weapons that you find in the merchant. At some point, it is sometimes recommended that you just de-equip your characters of any weapons and just punch with your fists for upwards to 3 to 4 hours.
Can I?
Yeah, it should probably win.
Yeah, ZP, that's an impressive list. It is. It all sounds terrible. The problem is you're running up against Jordan in 96, 97.
Damn it.
You never
Oh,
So I'm,
seen
sports
Jordan.
I'm
metaphors.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, you're the round mound of rebound.
I've seen The Last Dance. I understand these.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm voting for getting over it with Benefati.
Oh,
Okay.
I've seen people beat that game in like 15 seconds.
I'm not those
Yeah.
people.
Just get good.
I don't care what's going on with those people. They're not me.
once I
Maybe
beat
you
it,
should
once I
enjoy
could
the
beat
journey,
it in like
Peter.
20 minutes.
The journey is worthless.
You're
Here, hold on. Let me tell you about a worthless journey. Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
All right.
did you
Top
buy
rope.
the
Before the
DLC that had all
DLC.
those Final Fantasy characters?
Yeah.
okay, but consider this. The ending to the DLC made my time entirely worthwhile.
Yes. If you do not play the DLC, entirely worthless. But with the DLC, a little bit less worthless.
Merely disrespectful.
Yes. Only disrespectful. You've played for 60 hours by this point, and the last 30 minutes is worth it.
You've played for 60 hours and given them $100, and now
Yeah.
you get to have a conclusion.
At the risk
Exactly.
of dragging this out much longer, is there a real case for Dragon Age 2? Like, I think the problem with that is just
No.
basically I think the ending is like pretty farty.
I
like
mean,
like
you know,
pretty farty. Like
the
there's some
dungeon
real
design in that game is what it is.
Like
Yeah.
honestly,
But
get rid
it's
of
not
the
a long
RPGs
game.
that are actually good, that are slightly long. Like Dragon Age 2 just shouldn't be here. Will You Snail should not be here. Pillars
It's
of
annoying.
Eternity 2 shouldn't be here. Sea of Stars shouldn't be here. Citizen Sleeper should not be here.
Citizen Sleeper goes on too long. Like it's not gonna win, but I think like Citizen Sleeper's end game, like when you've basically invalidated the mechanics of the game, but still have to go through the motions because of the board game like nature of Citizen Sleeper.
Okay.
It's annoying.
Okay. I'm gonna Switzerland here. I will, for the purposes of moving the show along, I will side with Pete, and I will say getting over it with Bennett Foddy wins.
I will also side with Pete.
Yeah.
From Hell's Heart, I stab at thee.
Yeah, don't worry. Y'all gonna be pissed at me pretty soon, but yeah, I'll give you this one. Congratulations, Bennett Foddy.
Trash game. Poop.
Can Hoshiro Mirahito also be tight?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, the runners up, biggest disrespect to the player's time. The winner is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy with runners up Kingdom Hearts 3 and Hoshiwo Miruhito. Way to go, honestly. One of the Solstice games not winning biggest disrespect to player's time. Way to go. Best twist. Oh, this is always one of my favorite categories.
Fun one.
Here come the nominees. Humans are bad, actually. Bear and Breakfast. Your girlfriend is creating Eldritch Horrors? Signalis. Human Reaper, Mass Effect 2. Wheatley's Heel Face Turn, Portal 2. We're in a lot of simulations, Will You Snail? Church Bad, Capitalism Bad, Boss Game. Break the Wheel, Pillar of Eternity 2, Deadfire. Secret Society installs fascism, The Case of the Golden Idol. Professor is the Big Bad, Temtem. Alchemist opens the door, Sea of Stars. Plants equal Eldritch Powers, Strange Horticulture. The King in Yellow, Signalis. Break the Internet, World of Goo. There's a second world map, Final Fantasy 3. Sora comes back from the dead again. Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora is in modern-day Japan with normal human feet, Kingdom Hearts 3. The Forest is an AI hive mind, Citizen Sleeper. That oaf gets the girl and kills the bad guy, The Case of the Golden Idol. It's been the same person the whole time, Gorogoa. Turn off your Saturn for good end, Panzer Dragoon Saga. Sarai's True Identity, Sea of Stars. Garl's Back, Sea of Stars. And the Billy Idol Concert, Elix 2.
Why is
Yep.
Boss Game on here? Like, that twist was foreshadowed 2 seconds into the
I
game.
have a correction to make.
Yes.
Sora being in modern day Tokyo with human feet, that's the Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser trailer. That is not in the video game Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay, I thought it was after the
Strike from
DLC.
record.
No,
I thought-
after the DLC is the twist that Tetsuya Nomura is going to make versus 13 hell or high water, even if he has
Whether
to
you like it or not.
Trojan horse it in through Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
I was going to vote for Sora with normal sized feet, too.
You would.
Unstrike it.
That is the real twist to the DLC, is Tetsuya Nomura still hasn't gotten over Final Fantasy Versus 13.
He's just got a picture of Versus 13 with a heart drawn on it. It's over his bed.
It's the X-Men meme.
Yep, it's exactly that. So where do we actually come down here? There's a lot of bangers. Pete, where do you come down on this
Oh,
list?
God, I have to go first. I'm not prepared for that.
Okay, who has prepared? Does anyone have a...
Listen, Billy Idol.
Yeah. So you're
Can
playing
you
this
explain
kind
that?
of trashy.
You're playing
boy.
this poor sequel to, let's say, a maybe not great, extremely Eurojank RPG. And then suddenly...
There are floating robots, kind of like the Fallout 3 radio station things, and you hear, hey, there's going to be a concert over here in the world. You should go over and check it out. It's Billy Idol.
Does
and
he
then you
sing
get
White
to
Wedding?
see a very...
Oh, Pete.
oh, boy.
It is a I would hesitate to venture what the mocap budget for this game was. I'm going to say 0. So it is a rigged...
We looked up, Piranha Bytes is still a very small studio.
Yeah.
They have like 30 people.
But so this is a rigged 3D animated performance with Billy Idol singing one of his more recent songs, which is to say still has a career. It was a hit song called Whiskey and Pills. And he gently bobs back and forth. There's a guitarist behind it. I think it's just him and a guitarist on a stage in what I would describe as a future apocalypse shit shack world. So it's like wood panels and like cinder block benches
Billy
in like
Idol
a shitty little
survived.
amphitheater.
He's still here.
Yeah.
He's alive. He survived
In a
the
land of
apocalypse.
cyber Vikings and magic.
So the song is performed, and it ends, and then basically you get like a mission complete 50 experience pop up on your screen for about 5 seconds, and that's it. This happens about 45 minutes into this game too.
I have
it's
important information regarding this game for context, Pete. It was released in 2022.
Oh.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
This is a recent video game.
This is a modern game.
I didn't play this one at all. It gets my vote. I support that. It reminds me of my
Strange.
favorite twist when they pulled out that gun in that one game. And it made no sense.
Yeah.
God,
And remember
one day,
Pete,
Magic
Alex.
Pengle.
We actually strong armed you and former co-host Billy into not voting for that because I think we voted for Doki Doki Literature Club instead of Magic Pengle, and it's something that I feel like Gino has still lorded over me.
History will show that I was right. History has shown that I was right.
That was the best twist. If I changed my vote that year, I apologize.
The Billy Idol concert from Elex 2 is the best twist with runners-up. Is any runners-up here that we feel like? I mean, I think The King in Yellow, Signalis, great twist.
The part where you get to the flesh.
The flesh
Maze.
hole.
Flesh hole, yeah.
That's really good. And
Um,
Garlsback, or one of the Sea of Stars ones, I feel like were really good twists.
I-
Opening the
yeah.
door.
Opening the door. That's
a
what
good
I
one.
was going to vote.
But when you get to the end of Panzer Dragoon Saga, and it more or less implies that if you don't turn off your Sega Saturn at a certain point, then like the world state is like perpetually broken. And the correct answer was actually when it was just like, just press the button during this cutscene was literally the game being like, no, like you did it. You solved the problem. Now turn this off. I wouldn't say it's executed like perfectly, but it is a really insane dumb thing. I like it.
All right, so the winner of Best Twist, the Billy Idol concert in Elex 2 in 2022. Amazing. I guess he's
It
not
sucks
that...
so bad. It sucks so bad. Guys.
Yeah,
You really have
it
to go
looks
watch
ugly.
it.
Just click that link.
And to be clear, we played, earlier games from that studio, and it's amazing how much worse they get over time with Elex.
Yeah.
Incredible. And with
Oh.
runners-up, The Alchemist opens the door in Sea of Stars, The King in Yellow in Signalis, and Turn Off Your Saturn for Good in Panzer Dragoon Saga. Worst game of our year, 2023. The big Trenchy. Getting over it with Bennett Foddy, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, Chex Quest Remastered, Hoshiwo Mirohito, and Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms, Pools of Radiance 2, Ruins of Mr. Nora pre-patch, and Elex 2.
All right, I let you guys have getting over it earlier. It's not winning this one. Hoshiwa Mirohito's the worst game we've
Yeah.
done.
Everything I've
It
heard
beat
about
Unlimited
that is
Saga.
awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it beat Unlimited Saga.
it's unbelievable.
Listen, shout outs to Cassidy once again for being on the thing, but
Being stronger than all three of us
being
combined.
more powerful than any of us. But it's an uncanny valley, but for video games,
Yeah,
where every interaction is feels wrong in a fundamental way.
Okay, just one little quick pitch. Does anyone in Hoshiwa Mirohito yell at you about the nature of
He doesn't
strife?
yell, he
No,
very
but the Famicom
calmly
yells at
lectures
you.
you.
the Famicom yells at you a lot in that game. The music is also pretty bad.
You watched
Also,
me
I
play
think
that
that
game,
here's-
Gino,
here's-
multiple times.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm okay with Hoshiwo Mirohito winning. Like we've got two of the worst games I've ever seen.
And if
this
we were
year.
going to pick a game that is not Hoshiwo Mirohito, I would actually probably devolve to the pre-patch version of Forgotten Realms Pools of Myth and Nor.
100%.
Because just for Pete and M to know, that game had launched with a glitch where when you uninstalled it, it would delete your system files for your
Yeah.
OS and would actually destroy your computer.
ZP
I
actually
forgot.
destroyed a
They had to
computer.
recall that game.
I tested it and actually blew up my computer. Or I blew up a crummy laptop that I got from like a refuse pile.
That makes me like it even more, honestly.
Yeah.
It chooses death. It knows it shouldn't live.
That's it. It's like if I can't have you, no one can.
All right, so the winner is Hoshiwo Miruhito. Way to go. What is the English translation for those who?
Stargazer.
Unofficially
Yeah, it's like
Stargazer.
I would like to vote for Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure because that was terrible. If only to make sure Getting Over It does not get a nominee.
Yeah,
I'm nominating Getting Over It. So tough.
Someone else vote
hated-
for Captain Crunch, please.
Well, I hated Getting Over It with like a passionate fury, but at least it was a game. Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure was not a game. I vote
true.
for that.
Yes.
Okay, so the runners-up. So Hoshiwo Miruhito, the people who stare at stars, who look at stars.
Hysteric goats.
With
Good
runners-up,
movie.
Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. I like how it's misspelled as
Wife.
Withy. Bennett Foddy, Captain
Ye
Crunch's
old.
Crunchling Adventure, and Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms Pools of Radiance. 2, Ruins of Myth Draenor pre-patch, which apparently will kill your computer. Do not install. Next up, worst story and/or written dialogue with nominees: Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Will You Snail, Final Fantasy 15, Mass Effect 2, Overlord DLC, and Anthem.
All right, Gino, now's the time. Shoot your shot.
Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. All of the dialogue sucks. Everything he says sucks. It's just the world's most boring man lecturing you about the value of hard work as he's making a game out of recycled assets based on another game whose mechanics he just took wholesale.
And the only parts that don't suck are quotes he stole from other people.
Yes. And he's telling you the whole time, like, yeah, I took this mechanic, but it's homage. I actually based it on this other game. So, you know, this is what art is. Art, but also, like, other games are trash in the refuse pile. So the only way to make real art is to build art out of trash.
Gets
Just
my
the-
vote.
Just the worst. I hate it. Okay, we've got 2 votes for Bennett Foddy. Where are the other votes going?
Well, let's talk about the Mass Effect 2 Overlord DLC again.
It does suck.
It does.
As far as a piece of a game that's otherwise okay, God help you. That's a bad one.
Yeah. That we've gone over why it's bad in earlier categories. A worthy vote. Morally repugnant. I guess the question is it worth to be morally repugnant or just smelling your own farts live into a microphone?
Yeah, morally repugnant. It's the Overlord DLC. I will say Final Fantasy 15 should be on notice because, boy howdy,
There's a lot of story, there's a lot of written dialogue, and it is all empty and worthless and fluff.
Yeah, they take a very uncomplicated thing and manage to just step on every rake possible along the way to somehow tell a like basic tale of like revenge and like lad friendship, and like the revenge part is kind of muddy and the lad friendships just kind of don't exist on screen. It's pretty amazing. But that said, worse Mass Effect 2 Overlord DLC. Easy.
Okay.
Good lord. Think about it.
In the battle between condescending and morally repugnant wins, it sounds like?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm also
this
going to
is
vote
my-
for the Overlord DLC.
The classic malice versus ignorance argument. Like a malice.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of malice. It's just Bennett Foddy's punching at everyone instead of punching down.
Hold on,
So
Braden, did you weigh in?
Listen, Overlord makes me angry
Mm-hmm.
in a way. Listen, popular depictions of people on the spectrum aren't great. The Good Doctor is a television show currently airing, but somehow,
I mean, you can't
know,
dispute that fact. It is airing,
13,
Joe.
Yeah.
13,
Yeah.
yeah. 13 years ago, they at BioWare managed maybe one of the more insulting and insensitive portrayals of people on the spectrum this side of that clip from The Good Doctor that everyone was making fun of.
Excellent. All right, the winner for worst story and/or written dialogue is Mass Effect 2 Overlord DLC with runner-up Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Pete, it's time for your specialty category, the John Paul Sartre Memorial Award for game that best expresses the ultimate futility of the human condition.
Nice. I know this is everybody's favorite category every year. People just sit around waiting for the winners. This was a good conquest this year. I think there's going to be a lot of overlap with our capitalism categories. But the nominees are Will You Snail, Cruelty Squad, Citizen Sleeper, Captain Crunchling Adventure, for all the reasons we've discussed already, and Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, which, I can't express how much I hated. In terms of your year of torture, that was a good pick.
It wasn't even in the year of torture.
I know, but I considered it a bonus. It sweeps back around. But for this year's winner, I am going to go with Citizen Sleeper. Citizen Sleeper might be the best game that's ever won this award. And I think it's because of all the sort of interlocking stories that ZP described earlier. There's triumph, but there's also a whole bunch of failure. And all these people are trapped on an asteroid beholden to the whims of this massive corporation, which I think is a pretty good encapsulation of where we are as a society right now. So Citizen Sleeper, the winner.
Excellent. You win, Citizen Sleeper, the John Paul Sartre Memorial Award for the game that best expresses the ultimate futility of the human condition. Next up is my award, the Platypus Award for game that should not be. The nominees are Final Fantasy XV, Dave the Diver, Katamari Damacy, and Chex Quest. My reasoning is as follows. Final Fantasy XV, a game that was maybe about 20 years in the making, that is half finished, and yet somehow was released in that state. It tries to complete all of its story through, large chunks of its story are told through DLC that is also poorly done. It is a game that you can feel the duress under which the people who made it were working by the end. And that's a game that easily could not have released, but did anyway, even though it was unfinished. Dave the Diver. That is a game that is like 20 games, all stapled together, and yet somehow it all works. Most games that are that ambitious just fall flat on their face. Dave the Diver manages to somehow make all those mechanics worthwhile, and yet still, bring it all home. It doesn't overstay its welcome with any of its little mechanical dalliances. Katamari Damacy? An incredible triumph of the human spirit that game even got made. Getting a art director to find a workaround by going to California to get his studio to actually take his idea seriously. That is a game that went through backdoors of backdoors of backdoors to come out in English.
The fact that game came out in the United States.
Yes.
Because
incredible.
There are a lot of weird, quirky PS2 games from that era. Most of them came out in Japan.
Yes, and Katamari Damacy, also a triumph of game journalism, honestly. If a game journalist didn't bug Namco, I don't think Katamari Damacy would have come out in the US. And then Chex Quest, a adver game that is ultimately a Doom wad, but is a good one. It's a good adver game.
Blasted check sales into the stratosphere. Worked perfectly.
It did. It brought checks back. It put it on the map. The winner of this is Katamari Damacy. It's a triumph of the human spirit. That's also a video game. It should not have come out. It shouldn't work as well as it does. It's truly an incredible game. Everyone should play, and it should not be. It makes no sense, but it is perfect. ZP, your award is up next.
Hey, so this is the Help, I'm Trapped in Sysiphean Torment. These are the games that are not necessarily the longest. They're not necessarily the worst. They are the games that are long and you accomplish very little. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work our way up. We have Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Anthem, Legacy of the Wizard, a game that I think we played last year. I don't think it should actually be on our list of games. Final Fantasy III.
It was this year.
Oh God, time.
It was the first game.
Time
of
is
the year.
eternal.
It was
and
this
then
year.
Dragon Age, or Dungeons and Dragons: Forgotten Realms, Pool of Radiance 2, Ruins of Myth Draenor, Towers, especially Towers 2, And then Hoshiwo Miruhito. Now, here's the weird thing. Cassidy, who was our guest, Hoshiwo Miruhito does not win this category, in part because once you actually wrap your mind around its weird little systems, you can't actually beat that game in under south of 3 to 4 hours. Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms, Pools of Radiance 2, not necessarily a bad game other than the fact that it blows up your computer. And outside of the fact that it blows up your computer, it's just a weird halfway step from AD&D and 3rd edition in a developer that desperately wanted to make an AD&D rule set game, but Wizards came down and says, you have to use this new one. We're going to package this. This will sell 3rd edition for the video gamers. And so you get a lot of weird stuff in that game, but it's actually not hard. Final Fantasy III, a game I actually streamed every part of and finished it in a shockingly not long session. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but it is doable. So we're actually left with, and I actually like getting over it with Bennett Foddy. I was the one, it was me, Austin. It was me all along. I'm the one who put that game on Best Comedy. Hey. So this is actually between 3 games. Legacy of the Wizard, which has a critically horrible mechanic where you have to, instead of switching between party members on the fly, you actually need to drag your characters from possibly all the way at the bottom of the dungeon to the safe spot at the top, switch the characters in the house, and then go back to redo all of your progress therein. Towers, which is a weird 3D, if it's the second game, dungeon crawler, and if it's the first game, it's an Atari ST, Atari Falcon first-person wizardry clone.
But they ported it to the Game Boy Color.
And you can play a PC game on a handheld. I actually think that Anthem should win this award, because you could be playing this game until EA pulls the servers for hours, literal hours upon end. And because this game no longer has a build path or a design doc or a roadmap, they pulled the plug on it. You are literally just getting progress, making your numbers go up, and actually having nothing to show for it. Zero, nothing. And yet these little mechanics that are almost free-to-play mechanics are there, beckoning to you.
Remember in the middle of the main story when they just say, haha, you're going through this too quickly, do all of these overworld map challenges?
Yeah, and it introduced the fact that there is this overworld map system where while I was playing it during peak hours, there were like 20 people still playing it. And, there were actual people playing it, making progress in a game that is basically dead, having little to show for it because, the Christmas event had popped off and I'm pretty sure it got stuck because, hey, I was getting emails about how to use microtransactions and they were dated to like 2022.
Awesome. So Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem.
Help, I'm trapped in Sysiphean torment. It's hamsters on a wheel in a pet store that's been abandoned for 10 years.
All the fun of games as a service without the service.
It's like
no service.
Yeah, speaking all of game, no service.
What if Destiny, but without the part where they release something new to make you angry at it again?
Speaking of all microtransactions, no service, the biggest indictment of capitalism award, which the nominees are Citizen Sleeper, Cruelty Squad, Chex Quest remake, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, World of Goo, First Soldier, Final Fantasy VII, and Anthem. What do we think here? I mean, that Anthem argument was pretty compelling.
There's a lot of good ones. I would like to remind everybody that Chex Quest paid a 17-year-old to make their game, if I recall correctly.
The Chex Quest remake? Or
that's
the
working
original?
age?
The original.
Original. That's working age.
I mean, fair. And they did pay him, which is more than we can say for a lot of cases.
Have you heard about this game called Roblox? Don't worry. If you want unpaid labor,
We
Making
got a game for you.
games.
Once again, we have the split of games about
Yes.
capitalism and games made
To
because
critique
capitalism.
I think Final
Every
Fantasy
year.
VII, the first soldier,
Feature,
should
not a
win
bug.
this
Yeah.
because
I agree.
that the entire debacle around convicted
Yeah.
criminal Yuji Naka.
Oh, right.
Yeah!
The person who made
know,
First
what?
Soldier was convicted of tax fraud.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
he did insider trading
Mhm.
because he knew that was going to get made, and so he did some stock things, which is illegal, I'm told. And as a result, this fucking mobile game battle royale Final Fantasy VII prequel that no one particularly wanted got shut down within a year
And sent a man to jail.
because the Sonic Man did crimes.
Yeah, that's
Finance crimes. The sexiest
Also,
kind.
it's a gotcha game still, so already indictment of capitalism.
Yeah, I
the
mean, a
game-
gotcha game.
Yeah,
It's a mobile game.
yeah.
It's a gotcha game that got spun up, and
Look,
then
I would hesitate
no one
to call that
wanted.
game a gotcha game, but I would say, like my wife, who's maybe her favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII, zero interest in this product at all. So misguided capitalism too. I don't know. Like I like First Soldier. I think the Anthem case is pretty compelling. I think the World of Goo is a good, fun wink nod indictment of capitalism too.
Mhm.
But it's another Jordan 97 issue, I think, here.
Yeah, I think a game actually getting a developer of the game sent to jail for finance crimes kind of.
Can we have two next year? Can we do biggest indictment of capitalism endemic, and then biggest indictment of capitalism extrinsic?
Yes, demonstrative and
Yeah.
Award
and
categories,
satire.
Pete, but we might need this one.
Okay, so Shinra is a giant evil corporation, and they're fracking the planet.
Okay, but that Captain Crunch game, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should definitely be a runner-up.
Brutal.
It is
Brutal.
barely a game. The Gatorade ad inside of the Captain Crunch ad,
I forgot about that.
where you have
Suck
it's
it
a
up.
level it's a level called Backwardia where everything is backwards except stands selling Gatorade, which is forwards. In a world gone wrong, the only thing that's right is Gatorade.
Well, that's just
So
true.
the winner First
Is it
Soldier
in you,
Final Fantasy.
Gino?
It's not in me. I haven't had Gatorade in like a decade. Because
How
I
are you going to
heard
get your
how-
electrolytes back?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why you're not at peak performance.
I heard a story about how Kendrick Perkins, basketball man, who now is an analyst, dropped
Kendrick
like 20
Perkins,
pounds.
also an indictment of capitalism. That man is making more money than all of us combined times two, and yet he's on national
Times
television
two.
It's not saying much.
just fucking saying
Got some zeros to
bullshit.
get to that.
I have friends who are pulling that off that are pretty normal. Like, considering I'm
He's-
unemployed right now, it's actually kind of unheard.
He dropped 20 to 40 pounds just by he used to only drink Gatorade instead of water, and then he cut that out and lost.
You
all
shouldn't
of this
do
weight.
that.
Not supposed to.
No,
do
he shouldn't
that.
have. It was
Dwight
bad.
Dwight Howard, professional basketball player and 7-foot human, was pre-diabetic because he was eating so much candy. His fingers started to go numb from the nerve damage.
What the f-
Steph Curry, a basketball player.
That's true.
Who's
Yeah,
doing
good
biggest
work.
we're
The
losing
biggest
plot.
indictment of capitalism is First Soldier, Final Fantasy VII. It sent a man to jail. With runner-up Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure. Just a nightmarish product. Next up is M's specialty award, M's Sheeple Award, most widely overstated / overrated. M, what is it?
Okay, so the
What are your
nominees
nominees?
are these are games that are very popular and we didn't think were that good. So nominees: Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Portal 2, Kingdom
Sounds like a
Hearts
pattern
3,
here.
and Katamari Damacy Reroll.
Take that name out of your mouth.
I put that in there as a late entry just because it was very popular so far.
I'd like to point out Kyrie is still in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kyrie still is in Kingdom Hearts 3.
And you can play as her if you spend an extra $20.
Yeah,
So
which I did, so that kind of raises it a little bit. I think Dragon Age 2 is the best of Dragon Age. Still,
What?
I'm not taking any questions right now.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah. Pillars of Eternity 2, pretty okay. I don't know if it was critically acclaimed or not, but some people liked it.
I critically acclaimed
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Yeah,
Motherfucker.
shush. I think it's going to have to be. I think it's Kingdom Hearts 3 actually, because people seem to like that game even when it came out, and then I played it. 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago.
We did like a podcast where I was asking you questions about it.
I did an emergency podcast after having played it for like a week straight, and I got to the end and I was like, what the fuck?
It ain't no Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, it is not.
Or even
Kingdom
Birth
Hearts
by
2.
Sleep, for that matter.
It's not Birth by Sleep. The only redeeming quality of this was the fact that the DLC came out and it actually gave it an ending. So without that, no redeeming qualities. Not very good.
You can
Runner
write a
up.
choo-choo.
You could write a choo-choo. Runner-up, Mass Effect 2. Not the best Mass Effect.
Very fair.
That's all.
Next up is Jeff's Specialty Award, Jeff's Old Game Commendation.
I am Jeff. I'm using the Retro Nuts cutoff. If it is 10 years old, it is retro. I didn't make this rule. I am not taking questions about it. Just going by someone else's rule. Every game that was over 10 years old that was looked at in this family of podcasts, I'm going to say a nice thing about each one of these, and then just give you a top three. Legacy of the Wizard. Neat. I think it is a Famicom game, action adventure-y thing. A little forward thinking, a little too much Sokoban, perhaps. Portal 2. I think we've said enough about that. Runes of Myth Draenor. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to play a Baldur's Gate-esque game, but animated entirely in The Sims, may you check out Runes of Myth Draenor. Megami Tensei, like the first one. What a cool wizardry clone thing. Like there's some real primordial ooze of the rest of the Shin Megami Tensei games. It's like already in there, and the series only gets better. Mass Effect 2, I think we've kind of said what we need to say there. Entry and Odyssey 4, speaking of Megami Tensei, same company, same sort of wizardry DNA, but it's on the 3DS and you draw the maps. That's great. Gothic, I have never played a Gothic game, but they are from the same family as Risen, which is also over 10 years old. The Risen series seems like it may stray a little too far into like maybe slavery's okay territory for me to get too excited about it. Dragon Age 2, we've sure litigated that one. Final Fantasy 3, an incredible technical accomplishment on the Famicom, but it's not as good as Final Fantasy 1 as far as I care. I'm not taking questions about that. Chex Quest, it's a WAD. It's no Mega Man WAD. Let me tell you, that Mega Man WAD for Doom, that's a good ass game. Can't say much about Crunchling Adventure, except I sure hate looking at it. Panzer Dragoon Saga, I've talked about that game a lot. I think it is pretty special. Biomotor Unicron is one of the better Pokemon ups that has ever been made by a non-Pokemon company, despite having some kind of cludgier corners. All of the positive things I've ever said in the world, if you invert them, you get close to how I feel about Towers, Lord Banff's Deceit. It's kind of amazing that thing even exists. Katamari Damacy is pretty good. World of Goo is also pretty good. That's a game I think I've bought like 5 times. I think I beat it on Android like a couple years ago, finally. It is good. I was surprised by how much I liked Wizards and Warriors, and I was surprised by how much Hoshi wa Mirahito is just like the worst thing I've ever seen on several axes. It's kind of amazing. I would encourage most people to actually look at that just to sort of take it in, just sort of suck it in. Top 3, to the shock of no one, Portal 2 is a really incredible game that is over 10 years old. Yeah, I probably would say Panzer Dragoon Saga would be a silver, and Katamari Damacy happens to be my favorite game ever made, and that's been like the same answer for about 20 years. So, yeah, I can't not highlight it, but old games, they're fun. Go to a certain large archival website based in Canada and find a zip file called Goodness. It's got a lot of stuff in there that you can poke around at. It's fun. It all runs on a PSP very well. The end.
Excellent. So the winner, Katamari Damacy, with runners-up Panzer Dragoon Saga and Portal 2. Say this is why we have you, Jeff. Great taste. Katamari Damacy, 20 years, favorite game. Way to go. Braden, it's your category now. Your Dubious Championship League.
Hello, yes. As an expert in playing questionable video games on the internet, here are the games that I think are worthy of notoriety. Hoshiwo Mirohito, for reasons already expressed. Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Mr. Noor is a baffling, kludgy mess that was ruined by the fact that they were mandated to switch to 3rd edition. Anthem, the dying gasp of BioWare. It is, they ran out of ideas. They said, let's make Destiny, but worse. Okay, we gotta mocap all the cutscenes in order so that people won't make memes about us. What's that? Mocap cutscenes take time and money for our live service game. Oh no! Discourse around art games in our Discord, especially in regards to getting over it. I think it's a hell conversation that you have unleashed upon this world. You all hate art.
I like it.
And you all make me hate discourse.
Discourse.
The Chex Quest HD remake, which that thing is bizarre. It feels like a student project instead of like something a corporation paid money to people to make.
It's so much worse than the original game.
It's so much worse. Because here's the thing about the original Chex Quest. It's Doom.
Yeah.
That's why it works. The HD remake, it is not Doom. Elex 2, somehow showing the regression of Piranha Bytes in real time thanks to our podcast. The concept of Sokoban puzzles, I've decided I don't like pushing blocks anymore. I'm against them. I'm against moving blocks in a tile fashion. Perhaps the blocks need to drop down onto other blocks. No,
Despite
thank
the
you,
fact
sir.
That your 2023 in review has been Skyward Sword apologism.
Yeah, but that's not a Sokoban puzzle.
Great point.
And then Jeff using our summer Kusolsa slot on Dragon Age 2, a perfectly fine video game with some interesting problems.
It's fine.
Anyway, listen, for as much as Hoshiwo Mirohito is a nightmare, I also didn't play it for very long. I played it for an hour, and I let ZP absorb most of the mental damage. Pool of Radiance, Ruins of Mr. Noor is a video game I played for multiple hours. And
that was your mistake.
Even if it was using, different rules, I think it would still be bad. So that's the winner of the Dubious Championship League. And the runner-up is Discourse.
Is Pools of Radiance still on your computer?
Yes, it is. It is the patched version, however.
Be. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not a time bomb. Just
no, it's
sitting on your
not.
Computer.
It's not a knife pointing to my heart.
When the government comes to take your computer away.
It's not Karapika's Nen power.
All right.
That's a joke for you.
Deep
Anna.
cut.
I got
Deep cut.
that.
Best non-game is our next category. The nominees are Dear Christmas,
If you can
Final
make
Fantasy
basketball
Unlimited.
references, I can make anime references.
That's fair. Final Fantasy Unlimited, Final Fantasy VII, On the Way to a Smile, a book, Twin Dragon Encounter, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Violent Night, and M needing to temporarily ban ZP for posting actual pornography on the Discord more than once.
It's my favorite pastime this year.
Do I need to say anything more than Chris Pratt, Italian American icon?
That is actually a
Okay, Chris Pratt
damning condemnation.
is that's not the Chris I'd vote for.
Let's talk about Chris Massey.
On a scale of movies I would use to entertain a 2-year-old child, the Super Mario Brothers movie is better than Cars.
That's ringing door. Okay, so we need some background here on some of these films that folks have not seen.
Please
Twin
do.
Dragon Encounter, a kung fu movie made by two Canadian twins.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Very much want you to know that their movie was made without the help of the Canadian government.
And also
In
they're
any
super
way.
badass and good with the ladies.
Yes.
He was
They
made
want you to
without
know that.
any help from anyone by the look of it.
No.
Including
Uh,
themselves.
So it's two karate men who are also somehow conspiracy theorists and also hate the government, and they made a kung fu movie on their own dime. Final Fantasy VII, On the Way to a Smile. It's a book that bridges between Final Fantasy VII and the movie that they made. It's fine. Final Fantasy Unlimited, terrible anime. Don't watch it. Violent Night. What if they made a Christmas movie for the people who say Die Hard was the best Christmas movie, and it stars Santa, and he kills people with all of the Christmas implements that you would like. And Dear Christmas, we've talked about it extensively. I don't think I need to go over it more. Chris Massey has all the jobs. And then M needing to temp ban ZP for posting actual pornography. It explains itself.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty easy to understand.
So,
Dear
this is a
Christmas.
toughie. Dear Christmas.
I think it's Dear Christmas.
Violent Night's pretty good though.
Violent Night's like
That's a
actually
good one. Yeah.
It's like actually good. It's like that's a
It
movie
was
I would
an
actually show
enjoyable
people.
film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And people went in expecting it to be like schlock, and then they were like, "It is schlock, but in a good way."
John
well-made
Leguizamo
schlock.
is having a lot of fun playing the bad guy.
I would
I
watch
lo-
him in anything.
I love John Leguizamo.
Would you watch
being
him in
both-
The Pest?
No, you
no.
wouldn't.
Okay,
Menu?
not everything.
He's good in that.
No.
The
Don't
Happening?
watch The
How about
Pest.
that?
Mm,
I just like that he has to hate Christmas. He's not just a thief; he also hates Christmas.
He has a thing with Christmas.
Okay.
Need I remind you that there's basically a Mortal Kombat fatality in
Yeah.
Violent Night?
Yeah.
True.
To be clear,
Okay.
very enjoyable film.
Like,
As opposed to the Hallmark film where
Where someone's named Chris
Nothing
Massey.
happens.
where we all irony
Information
poison
you
ourselves, and it just because that thing is barely 80 minutes of like us standing agape looking at how shoddily and quickly made the entire endeavor is, and how empty and flat it is, and how non-existent the conflict is.
Melissa Joan Hart's dad in that film, the person who plays Melissa Joan Hart's dad,
Begley
in that
Jr..
movie,
Ed Begley Jr.
he looks like he was led onto set by a person with like, I don't know,
Some
Werther's
Werther's
originals on a
Originals.
stick.
Yeah.
And he's just been dropped into here, and the lines, he doesn't believe them. He doesn't seem to know them.
How
I,
dare you?
I am shocked
He's-
to learn that he is not even 75 years old. At the
What?
time
He
of
looks
that
a
film.
million.
Yeah.
Oh.
He looks like he was exhumed 10 minutes before filming, and they still left the embalmer's makeup on.
I mean, this
That's
is
how
going to
bad
be
it
his
is.
future. He's going to play the granddad in every movie ever for the
Yeah.
rest of the next 20 years.
Yeah.
I hope he does it with a little bit more energy.
This man was in the
Please.
Pineapple Express. And
He
now
was.
he's in
He was in
this.
Better Call Saul.
Melissa Joan Hart was in God's
He
Not
was in
Dead
Better
2.
Call Saul.
Yeah. Lest we forget. Look, I'm so
So-
happy I showed you guys that stupid thing.
I showed it to my wife. She hated it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Well,
not
I've
very
got
10
some
out of
good
10.
news. Not just I'm gonna pounce this off right now. I was wondering if I'd be able to find something even remotely worthwhile again in this same vein, and I found like 3.
Okay, good.
Like
That's a
'cause,
teaser.
Look, man, there's a Hallmark movie crease, but every once in a while in those terrible films, someone tries to do something like weird, and I found one, and I'm so
Excellent.
excited to share it next year.
I'm looking
And
forward
we'll need to
it.
check out the Velocipaster at some point, I think.
Yeah,
That
in
was
that
my
genre.
pick.
Okay, so best non-game. Are we okay with Violent Night getting it? Because we actually all enjoyed that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably fair.
Okay, with runners-up, Dear Christmas, and
Final Fantasy
and needing
Unlimited.
to temporary
Yeah.
Final
ban
Fantasy-
ZP.
No, wait, what?
No,
Yep. You
no,
heard it.
don't do
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Things
Once
Then,
again, Chris,
Yeah.
you posted some no-nos. Some officially made Sword Art Online.
Oh right, no
material.
wait, I did win this category. I forgot about that one. Oh shit.
I've blocked it out of my memory.
Oh
Okay, I've filled it in. You're a runner-up. Way to go, champ.
Yay.
You are the winner. Way to go. Next up, we have our final non-game of the year category, game of our year category, and that's quote of the year, which was voted by you, the Discord members who are listening. If you're not a Discord member, join so you can vote on this next year. Jeff, our nominees and our winners.
Hi. So did this in 2 rounds this year because we just had so many. We narrowed it down from like 60 something, I think, maybe more than that, down to I think 17 in 2 rounds. So congratulations. And then we did the little weighted messy poll, and after the voting, here are the top 3. So I would like to say too that in bronze, we've got one that only exists in the final format because my wife voted for it. She's the only person who nominated it to get out of like the primary ballot, and then it came in 3rd place. So you never know. Every vote counts. So in bronze, 3rd place, the boobs mean it's the front side. That is from Relkin. Again,
Sure.
these
don't
were listed
remember the
without
context for this.
Yeah. Well,
These are from the out of context quotes channel in the Discord. So we don't remember either.
in 2nd place, holding up a silver medal, it's me saying, and I've totally forgotten the context for this, thrusting to the beat while I hump a bag of garbage. I don't know when I said that or about what.
Is it about your favorite Harmony Korine film? Who knows?
Good God. And first place, with 15% of the total points on the table.
Holy shit.
Congratulations. I'm gonna just read this in full. It's long. ZP and Braden have like pre-divorced energy, like 2 dudes who dated for years and were gonna get married, but then broke it off and stayed friends, and now they know each other way too well, and every round them just has to grin and bear it when one of them says some out-of-pocket shit to the other. And that was said by Game Maker M.
No, that was said by someone who has been left anonymous for protection.
I don't know anyone in this group of people who says the phrase out of pocket. Who could it be?
But
We'll
that's
never
the quote.
know.
That is our
We'll
winner
never know.
Yeah.
of our out of context quote of the year.
Congratulations to everyone involved.
I'm
Yep.
still a fan of Kreia as the reason why I became a libertarian in college.
I am shocked that Orgasm
Yeah.
Simulator 2023 is that the one with the truck stick did not win, because when I heard that, I fucking actually just had a conniption for about 10 minutes. It was timing unbelievable.
I
God damn.
am surprised that Life is Just a Series of Disappointing Cameos didn't win.
Yeah,
Or
honestly,
come higher.
maybe like that's when they do the novelization, that one gets like a little more treatment, I think. Perfectly Blue Stomach Lining also probably like 2nd favorite for me, just because I know what you were talking about.
I I remember the context of that one.
I got a lot of mileage out of MILF Manor this year, showing it to people, just being like, "Oh, you think you've seen some reality television? Like, check this out." Like, I've had friends be like, "I'm reconsidering watching reality television ever again because you showed me that show." And, like,
It's something.
it's so
That
tough.
should have been an Indictment of Capitalism nominee, honestly.
Yeah, we there wasn't enough MILF.
Are you saying we
Manor.
should have a MILF Manor watch party?
We didn't cover enough MILF Manor to
Yeah,
use that. but
that's
I'll
a
take
failure
that into
on us.
consideration.
We failed.
Put it on the list. And now, the award you've all came for, the Marianas Trench Award for Deepness, Game of Our Year. The big game, and now I will list every game we covered this year. Will You Snail, Legacy of the Wizard, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, Portal 2, Dungeons & Dragons, Forgotten Realms, Pools of Radiance 2, Ruins of Myth Draenor, Strange Horticulture, First Soldier, Final Fantasy VII, Digital Devil, Monogatari, Megami Tensei, Citizen Sleeper, Mass Effect 2, Bear and Breakfast, Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan, Temtem, Kingdom Hearts 3, Gothic 1, Risen, Elex 2, Dragon Age 2, Cruelty Squad, Gorogoa, Final Fantasy 3, Signalis, Dave the Diver, Chex Quest Remake, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, Panzer Dragoon Saga, The Case of the Golden Idol, Biomotor Unitron, Towers, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Final Fantasy 15, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Anthem, World of Goo, Boss Game, The Final Boss is My Heart, Sea of Stars, and Hoshi wo Miru Hito. Those are the nominees.
All right, we have
Braden,
4 minutes.
where do you come down, Braden?
I mean, listen, I know you people are gonna vote for Katamari Damacy, and that's fine because it's great. But let me tell you about Signalis.
Yeah, baby.
As mentioned on the podcast, it is the perfect intersection of both M and I's Venn diagrams. It's got cosmic horror, psychological horror, robot lesbians, inventory management,
What
tank
an incredible
controls.
list already.
Say no more.
Ooh la la. Okay.
Existential
Signalis.
despair.
Oh, the list goes on.
We can keep
Yeah,
going.
so Signalis.
Signalis is a nominee. I'm highlighting this on the sheet just to keep track of it. I'm not putting it winner or runner up. I'm just keeping track of it.
I mean, the actual winner's
ZP.
Pillars 2, but none of you are going to vote for it.
You're damn right. ZP, where do you come down?
Well, Braden, it's funny you should mention, because I'm going to vote for a PoE, but it's not your PoE. Anyways.
Go for
What?
Pillars of Eternity. What?
No, Path of Exile. I always say
Oh.
that I like the better PoE game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Braden
You
gets
like
angry.
Diablo 2, but more. With the
Yeah,
sphere grid.
baby. I like me my sphere grids. Anyways, no, I think of all the games that we played, I actually have to go back to the one that I keep talking about over and over again. And that is going to have to be Panzer Dragoon Saga. A game whose reputation is largely rooted in the fact that it is actively one of the hardest games to play because so few copies of it were made, and the price that it courts today on the resale market is actually in the above $500 mark, which is a shame because this game feels like it should have had its time to shine.
And Saturn emulation was not good until a few years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do crimes, play a good game.
Okay. Jeff, Katamari.
Yeah,
What's your
I
favorite
can't.
game?
I
And
can't.
it's on the list.
Yeah, I can't. Like this is a bummer because last year Final Fantasy VI was on here, which is probably number 2, really number 3 because Space Harriers like never get nominated here, but realistically, but yeah, it's a little weird having like ringers 2 years in a row. But the good news is it won't happen again, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna be real basic. I think that game is I think its creation story is cool. I think the game itself is very fun to play. I think aesthetically it holds up. And I think the fact that it is available for like $10 now on basically everything is a real good excuse to go get just more copies of it. Because, gosh dang it, it's good.
It is good. Pete, where do you come down?
So I generally approach this category as like, what game will I think about in the future? You know what I mean? And as much as I love Katamari, and it would be my second choice, it's not really going to take up any mental bandwidth for me, which isn't what Katamari wants, but unfortunately, that's how I judge this category. It's a personal thing. So I'm also voting Signalis.
Hey!
Nice. Okay, we've got 2 votes for Signalis, 1 for Katamari, 1 for Panzer Dragoon Saga. M, where do you come down?
I was trying to decide between if I was going to go with my heart or with my, I guess, other heart with Sea of Stars.
Secondary heart.
Yeah. Because I think Sea of Stars deserves the recognition of being in the same category as Chrono Trigger, equally as good. But I will side with the majority so far and go with my second pick of Signalis, because that game it did things to me. It wormed its way into my brain when we played it, and I still see it on my Tumblr dashboard. I'm like, yeah, that's a good game. I could replay that game right now.
All right. I was split between Signalis and Katamari Damacy and Sea of Stars. Those were kind of my 3 choices, and I like siding with a winner, so I'm gonna go with Signalis to just push it straight into true majority category.
That was the easiest game of our year we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of really good games, and I think that it's not contentious this year. I think we all feel good about all of these games.
Yeah.
None of us think like someone's a fool for liking a game, which is good. Very magnanimous. Excellent. So, game of our year is Signalis with runners-up Panzer Dragoon Saga and Katamari Damacy Reroll. And I would Sea of Stars close, but no cigar.
You wanna give Sea of Stars a...
Sure, I'll give it a little red. Sea of Stars, runner-up. It got half a vote from me and M.
Yeah, which counts as 1 put
which
together.
Is like 1 vote. All right, so that does it. I'm going to do a rundown of all the categories, and then I'm sure there's no news at the end of this, so let me just do that rundown for just a second. Game of the Year, winner, Dave the Diver, runner-up, Sea of Stars. Then Best Comedy, winner, Katamari Damacy Reroll, runner-up, Portal 2. Best Horror, Signalis, runner-up, Cruelty Squad. Best Drama, winner, Citizen Sleeper, runners-up, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy and Signalis. Best Action, winner, Cruelty Squad, runner-up, Kingdom Hearts 3. Best Adventure, winner, Etrian Odyssey 4, Legends of the Titan. Runners-up, Temtem and Sea of Stars. Best Puzzler, Portal 2 with runner-up, Case of the Golden Idol. Best Character, Chris Massey from Dear Christmas, you monsters, with runners-up, Garl and the King of All Cosmos.
No regrets.
Worst character is a Unity ticket of Gavin Archer and Anders. So Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age 2, and the unifying characteristic, BioWare written characters in 2010. Best Soundtrack, winner is Katamari Damacy Reroll, with runners-up Sea of Stars and Panzer Dragoon Saga. Prettiest Game, winner is Panzer Dragoon Saga, with runners-up Signalis and Gorogoa. Best Performance/Voice Acting, winner is Cave Johnson from Portal 2, with runner-up Wheatley from Portal 2. Best Mechanic, Starting Small but Getting Big, Katamari Damacy, with runners-up Filling in the Blanks, Case of the Golden Idol, and Combat in Panzer Dragoon Saga. Biggest Disrespect of the Player's Time, winner, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, with runners-up Kingdom Hearts 3 and Hoshibo Miruhito. Best Twist, winner is the Billy Idol Concert in Elex 2, with runners-up The Alchemist Opens the Door in Sea of Stars, The King in Yellow in Signalis, and Turning Off Your Saturn for the good ending of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Worst Game of our Year, 2023, Winner is Hoshiwo Miruhito, with runners-up Getting Over It with Ben Foddy, Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure, and Dungeons & Dragons Forgotten Realms Pools of Radiance. This name. Ruins of Myth Draenor, pre-patch because it bricks your computer. Worst story and or written dialogue. Winner, Mass Effect 2 Overlord DLC, with runner-up Getting Over It with Ben Foddy. John Paul Sartre Memorial Award for game that best expresses the ultimate futility of the human condition. Winner, Citizen Sleeper. Gino's Platypus Award for game that should not be. Winner, Katamari Damacy. CP's Help, I'm Trapped in Sysiphean Torment Award. Winner, Anthem. Biggest Indictment of Capitalism Award goes to First Soldier Final Fantasy VII, with runner-up Captain Crunch's Crunchling Adventure. His cold, dead eyes, my god. M. Sheeple Award, Most Wildly Overstated / Overrated, Kingdom Hearts 3, with runner-up Mass Effect 2. Jeff's Old Game Commendation, the winner, Katamari Damacy, with runners-up Portal 2 and Panzer Dragoon Saga. Braden's Dubious Championship League, winner, Pools of Radiance, Ruins of Myth Draenor, with runner-up Discourse Around Art Games. Best non-game winner is Violent Night, with runners-up Dear Christmas and M needing to temporarily ban ZP for posting actual pornography in the Discord more than once. Quote of the year? Winner is CP and Braden have like pre-divorced energy, like two dudes who dated for years and were going to get married but then broke it off but stayed friends, and now they know each other way too well, and everyone around them just has to grin and bear it when one of them says some out-of-pocket shit to the other. With runners-up Thrusting the Beat While I Hump a Bag of Garbage and The Boobs Mean It's the Front Side. And the winner of our Game of Our Year award, Signalis, with runners-up Panzer Dragoon Saga, Katamari Damacy Reroll, and Sea of Stars. We did it. Another Goaty in the books. Another year of Deep Listens.
Is this the first time that we've done a Goaty under 3 hours?
It's definitely
Yes.
it's close.
This was brisk.
For now.
This was a brisk Goaty.
We're getting
I
better.
appreciate it. This is how they should have been in the first place.
We did it.
Yep.
We did it. All right. So with that, I cede the floor to one Jeff Rude.
Oh, right. Hi. I'm Jeff. I'm going away now.
Where are you
This
going?
I'm afraid this is the end. It's not. But
You've got
I'm-
a lot on your plate, Jeff.
Yeah.
To put it lightly.
So I am going through a lot of professional life change fun right now. I don't want to belabor this too much, but I left a job that I'd been at for like well over a decade a couple months ago. And the plan was get hired pretty soon. And in the meantime, my spouse, who's got a master's degree, would be able to float us as I floated her through grad school. And then she got laid off. So we are both working on plan B right now. And in the meantime, we're also going to be probably moving out of the country for a while later this year. So we are both a little busy. I don't know what my new schedule is going to look like because I am still waiting on about 36 job applications and counting to call back. Some of them have very, very fun hours. Some hours that I don't see very often, I would say. I see most hours between like 5 a.m. and about 2 a.m., but it's that 2 to 5 a.m. gap that I don't see too often. I might be working a lot of those. So it's going to be weird, and then I'm moving. My priorities are kind of changing, and yeah, I will continue to be around. I'd like to keep talking about Final Fantasy stuff, but I think in terms of my off the deep end involvement, that is going to be coming to an end very, very soon. So that's the news. I like you all. This has been fun. I'd like to continue doing it. It's just my bandwidth is
My
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, my bandwidth is my wife got freaking lost her job at a very inopportune moment, and now we are like scrambling to do gig economy stuff while the
Yeah.
regular economy catches us.
Be
So
clear, Jeff.
yeah,
I do not resent you for this. I will take up this burden. I will take the ring to Mordor. I will outlive the Confederacy.
With me.
Yeah, I have
With
I have
Chris
some
at my
regrets about
side.
this.
And probably some special guests.
Yeah.
And maybe
And-
eventually we'll find a third person. I don't know.
And Jeff, you are welcome back
And,
anytime.
yeah, Jeff,
of
listen,
course.
I'm going to fucking force you back into a Skype call to talk about some dog shit.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're going to play the last story, Jeff.
I will see what I can do.
We will play Lost Odyssey at some
Yeah,
point.
who's going to be with us talking about Dragon Quest and how it overlaps with Blue Dragon?
Ooh, I like Blue Dragon.
Hey, I'm glad you like Blue Dragon. Yeah, I would just as soon just negotiating time with me, as fun as it already is, it's just going to be worse. And I like you guys too much to put you through that. So I'm just going to say no. But I'll probably appear on a couple more shows before that really ends. And that is pending if I don't get a job call like real soon, which would be great. Let me tell you, if you happen to be in the nonprofit sector in like the Puget Sound and you're looking for someone to like literally do, and I want to let you know I'm leaning into the microphone. How seriously I mean this. Anything for legal pay. But that's especially full time.
That's a qualifier.
Yeah, it has to be full time. That would be cool. I'd really like that. So, yeah. Or if you got, got pets around here that need watching, I could drive. I have a hot Rover link. I'll give you $20 off. But yeah.
Well, thank you again for the years of contributions, Jeff. It has been great having you on as the host off the deep end. The door is always open. And the Final Fantasy train is still rolling.
Yeah, I have zero intention of disappearing for those. That's sporadic enough that I'll make that work. Dang it! I like all the horrible games that are left in that series too much.
We don't have very many good games left.
No, we really don't.
No, we really don't.
We have one, maybe. We
have a few, but they're not mainline games. Let me tell you that. So yeah, thank you, Jeff, for all your contributions over the years. Gone but not forgotten, and not even really that gone. Not even bye forever.
Bye forever. Miss you.
Yeah. Jeff will still be there. Jeff will be there on the Discord when ZP probably should be going to bed and finds random horrible horse shit on the internet and decides to share it with all of you. And still, maybe M should ban me.
Maybe I should.
Braden left. Braden said no thank you to that.
Braden didn't want to have an emotion.
So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the sign off. Thank you again, Jeff. Thank you, ZP. Thank you, M. Thank you, Pete. Another great year of the Deep Listens family of podcasts and another great Goatee. Dear listeners, reminder, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. And you can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. And also thank you, Braden. He did actually leave the call, so that's why I didn't say thank you to him earlier, because I didn't see his name in front of me. All right, well, thanks, everyone. Till next time. Peace.
Break it down like this.